はい、お待たせいたしました。引き続き司会進行は私神谷がお送りいたします。次のタイトルはファンタシースター千年紀の終わりにプロファウンドディスオーダーランダマイザー。カテゴリーはハンターズマークレースです。こちら解説の方がいらっしゃいます。甘泉uniさんです。よろしくお願いします。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
お願いし
まず、
ます。
こちらなんですけど、メガドライブ用に、後期に出た、ファンタシースターシリーズの普通のロールプレイングとしては、最終作ちょっと微妙かな。メガドライブでは出たのでは最終作となる、一応、ナンバーはついてないんですけど、4という形にはなってます。で、ランダマイザーとなってるので、普通の、RPG、レースとは違って、宝箱の中身等がランダムになってますが、今回、ハンターズマークレースという風になってるんですけど、このランダマイザーで遊べるモードが3つありまして、1つがクラシックで、いわゆる普通のストーリー通りに進めるもので、2つ目がリングズモードって言って、惑星の名前が5個ついたリングを集めるモード。で、最後がこの、ハンターズマークというモードで、こちらは、もともとのゲームに、サブシナリオとして用意されている、依頼をクリアしていくタイプのものがあったんですけど、そちらが、拡張されて、いくらだっけかな。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13、14、15、16、17、18、20、21。全24のうちから8個ランダムで選ばれて、その8個をクリアするとラスボスが倒せるというモードになってます。で今回はレースなんで、ランダマイザーのパッチを当てるときにシードっていわゆるどういうランダム値になるかっていうのを設定できるんですけど、そちらを固定した状態でレースをすると思われます。ごめんなさい。ちょっとその辺の細かいところは全く分かってない状況なんで、ちょっと予想で解説する形になります。それで、すいません。ちょっと咳がです。どれくらいランダムになるかっていうのは、ちょっと説明しておかないとまずいと思うのですが、ハンターズマークの場合は、先ほど言った通り、クエストを8個クリアするともうラスボスが出ちゃうんで、宝箱の中は全部ランダム。例えば、ボスを倒した時に出る、いわゆるシナリオを進めるためのアイテム等もは、ちょっとこれがどうなってるのかが現状分かってないです。ごめんなさい。なんかある程度最初から持ってたりする場合もあるみたいなんですけど、それがどのモードなのか、ちょっと一応動画は見たんですけど、ちょっと分からなかったんで、ちょっとその辺は見ながら解説していきたいと思ってます。あと、最初のパーティーなんですけど、最初からこのゲーム、全5人で、何人か。最大5人で、さらに、追加で何人かいるんですけど、最初から5人いる状態で始まります。それで、その5人は今回レースなんでおそらく、この走者2人だっけか。で、決めていると思われます。この5人も一応ランダムにすることは可能になってます。 どこまでランダムにするかっていうのはある程度パッチを当てるときに決められるような形ですね。で、パーティーはちょっと誰を選ぶのかはわかんないですけど、おそらくパイクは選ばれないと思います。パイクっていうのはまあちょっと途中で出る、緑の、まあいわゆる脳筋タイプの戦士なんですけど、結構ちょっとラスボスに向けてはあまり強くないタイプなのでで、このパーティーなんですけど、同じ人を5人選べるんで、まあ、縛りとしてはパイク5人というのも可能にはなってます。一応パーティーの名前がちょっと日本語と海外版で違うんですけど、なるべく海外版で言いますけど、たまに日本語版の方で言っちゃう可能性はあるんで、その点はご了承ください。あれなんか、このまま見てていいのかななんか URL が配られるみたいな話だった。まあいいや。まあそんな感じですね。まあ、大体標準的、あと、まあ、ネタバレになっちゃうんですけど、通常モードだとライアっていうキャラが途中で死んで使えなくなってしまうんですけど、ライアもそのままラスボスまで連れていくことは可能です。ただ、やっぱり途中で死んでしまうので、いわゆる特技とかが中途半端な状態になってる感じですね。で、まあ、一般的には全部バラバラにするかどうかもちょっと分かってないんですけど、まあ、普通にバラバラにする場合だと、主人公とヒロインと、まあ、スレイっていう魔法使いですね。魔法使いに、なんだ、キャストか。キャスト、キャストっていうまあロボットみたいな、アンドロイドみたいなのが2人いるんですけど、おそらく、ゼーランだっけか。ごめんなさい。名前があまりちゃんと覚えてなくて。ちょっと男性型のアンドロイドと、まあ、あと1人、回復を誰にするかっていう感じで、おそらく、女の子の方の、青い髪の女の子の、と、もう1人、ギャグが好きな、おじいさんがいるんですけど、これどちらかっていうのが、まあ、一般的な攻略スタイルで使うパーティーになってます。そうですね、フォーレンですね。このランダマイザーでは死ぬイベントが発生しないですね。クラシックモード以外だと。で、あと、いわゆるグラフィック、1枚絵のグラフィックが出ることがたまにあるんですけど、それが全部カットされてます。顔グラが会話中に出るぐらいのあたりは、さすがにカットされてないんですけど。と水取ってきますね。なんか喉が微妙に調子悪い。 すいません、戻りました。あと説明しておかなければいけないのだったかな。先ほどモードが3つあるって言って、5つのリングを集めるって言ったんですけど、この5つのリングっていうのが、後からランダマイザーで追加された惑星の名前がついてるアイテムで、先ほどちょっとパイクが弱いって言ったんですけど、このパイクっていうのが、いわゆる、氷属性弱点を持ってるんですけど、それを防ぐリングとかが用意されてるので、弱いと言っても一応ベースよりは、なんとか使えるようになるっていう形にはなってます。ただこれハンターズマークの方でリング出るのかどうかはちょっとわからないですね。ちょっとこちらの方準備してます。ごめんなさい。あとはゲームが開始してからですね。なんかちょっとこちらの方がうまくいかないので。
画面の方の接続うまくいかないですか？
そうですね。ちょっと広告ブロッカーが起動してたので、今切ったんですけど、なんでだろ
もし、うまくいかない場合、本家配信の方を見ていただく
そうですね。
形でも。
本家配信の方でやりますので。あとはゲームが始まってからですね。はい。
そうですね、予定の開始時間が3時45分なんで、もうそろそろ
あと4分ぐらいやると。
来るかなっていうところですね。
はい。
ちょっとなんか、テクニカルな問題があるので、もうちょっと待ってねみたいな感じの連絡
はい、わか
来てますね。
りました。
私、実はファンタシースターシリーズ遊んだことがないんで、全然知識
はい。
がないんですけど、
え
今ちょっとこの作品を検索してみたら、1993年発売って書いてあって、そんな前の作品なんだってちょっとびっくりしました。
そうですね。メガドライブが出てた時の
はい。
作品で、一応後期なので、 3パ24か。30。だいたい容量がフロッピー4枚分ぐらいかな。当時、いわゆる32メガビットのロムだったと思います。確か。
わ、すごい。ウィキ見たらシリーズがいっぱい出てきた。
で、一応、名前がついてる最新作が、ファンタシスタオンライン2ニュージェネシスっていうもので、いわゆるオンラインゲームになってますね。
NGS かなんかで略されてるやつですかね。
そうですね。
はい。それを結構なんか名前見たんで、なんか割と最近なゲーム感があったんですけど、すごい歴史の長いゲームなんですね。
長いですね。もともとは、メガドライブの前の、なんだっけ、マスターシステムか。マスターシステム用に販売されたゲームなので、それが1で、2から3までがメガドライブ。で、サターンでは出てなくて、ドリームキャストでファンタジースターオンラインという形になって、その後は、いわゆるセガのハードがなくなっちゃったので、いろんなハードで展開してるような形です。
なるほど。なので PSO はファンタシースターオンラインで PSO なんですね。
そうですね。
なるほどね。ファンタシースターユニバースもこれオンラインだったんですか？
これ、ユニバースが、そうですね、PSU もオンラインですね。こちらはプレステ2と PC で展開してたものですね。一応、なんていうか、オフラインモードみたいな形で、ストーリーが遊べるモードもありました。
PS2 のオンラインって言ったら、かなりなんか先取りしてる。あ、来ましたね、ゲーム画面。
はい。
Alright, we are back. I am still
別の
the
シリー
RPG
ズだ
Chick,
から
and
い
I
い
will
か。
still be your
すい
host
ませ
for
ん
this
ね。
upcoming race here. I did just want to read
ちょっ
off
と
two quick
会話に
donations.
困
We
った
had a
ら話すかもし
$25
れな
from
い。
Keishin that says Go Nutri Go, and a $30 donation from Nori that says paying out $10 per oopsie through my run. Though it's punishment for me, it's still for a good cause. And thanks for all you do, Valks, with a heart. Thank you, Nori, and thank you, Keishin. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Lady Starbird and Greffrey, who are going to be commentating this amazing
一応事前
randomizer
には
race.
確認したんですけど、このお二方のちょっと動画まではチェックしてないので、どういうレースに出るかもちょっと分かってないので、ある程度はちょっと元ベースの動画での話、ゲームの話になっちゃうと思うんで、その点はご了承ください。
Not today.
Not today. Not today. With me, I have the one and only Greffery.
Hello, everybody. Happy good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be.
で、右の方は、
And this is the Fantasy Star
どう
for
もエミューっ
Profound
ぽいで
Disorder
すね。
Randomiser. So
フ
basically,
レームレートが
in
出
the
てるんで。
simplest of terms, this is
まあ
free enterprise but Sega. So it's got to be better, right?
海外ではそんなもい
Clearly,
ろい
As
ろ
I
うる
try
さ
to
く言われ
as
な
I
いから、
try
そ
to
の
toot
辺は
my
あんま
horn
り
a little bit.
喋
I
ら
am
なくてもいい
actually
か。
getting the runners set up. I'm waiting for. I got a ready check going right now. Got dumpster in, waiting for
まあ
noob.
手
But
軽に遊
other than
ぶ
that,
の
this
なら
is
一応
I want
ロ
to
ム
try
を
to
吸い
use
出して
Audio
か
also.
ら
It's like,
プログラ
great.
ムで
Like,
書き換え
aha,
る
that's
っ
what
て
my
まあ
girlfriend
そうで
used
す
to
ね。
do.
プラン
Right
ダ
now,
マイ
she's
ザー
gonna
の
be
時点
playing.
で、
So
まあエミューの方が手っ
all
取
right,
り早い
so
ですね。いちいち
yes,
焼き
this is
直さな
basically
くていいんで。
Final Fantasy Star 4 Free Enterprise. Organ Mike has got it right. So we'll explain more as the game goes on. What these players are going to be doing is a mode called Hunters. What did I call it? I don't even remember. I'm the creator of this. I don't even remember what I call it. Hunter's Mark, I believe is what it's called.
it is
And
now.
it is now Hunter's Mark. Thank you, Apple. So what that means is, if anyone's ever played Fantasy Star 4, you remember the Hunters Guild
ちょっ
board.
と
You'd
今
have, as the game progresses, 8
本
quests
家の
that you'd get for
配
like
信を
experience
ちょ
and
っと
money.
別画
Well,
面に移しているんで、
in
チャッ
this
トの
randomizer,
日
those
本
8
語のチャッ
quests
ト
are
の
now
方を
randomized
そっちに
with different
移
objectives
動させます。
throughout the game. And in order to open the final dungeon, you have to complete all 8 of those objectives. You start out with a random party of 5. Their ability, everyone's at level 1. Their abilities are randomized, and the shops are randomized. It's a lot of things. And you also start with a hydrofoil. So you have a lot of access to places right off the bat. So, again, I gotta find out, where is Noob? Because I am waiting for that. Let's see. I'll do a ready
まあ
check.
作者さんが
Give
解
me one
説して
moment.
くれ
Griff,
て
do you
るんで。
want to talk a little bit?
Sure, I can definitely take over from here. So again, these are two players that have been playing this for actually quite a while right now. So it'll be
ちょ
very
英
interesting
語
to
の聞き
see
取りは
just see
ほ
how
ぼ
they
で
able
き
to
ないの
handle
で、
this here.
ちょっ
I'm
と
like
解説が
myself and Lady
したい状態
Starbird
です。
are we don't really know what we're going to be seeing here outside of just really the objectives and the party. That's all we know. We have no idea where this is going to be. What kind of path is it going? Is it going to be really fast? Is it going to be really slow? A lot of the things that we'll see for the Hunters board and what's going on in there itself will be objectives that you'd expect to see throughout the game if you're playing. Some of them are actually
タイ
recurring
マースター
missions
と
from
ス
the
トッ
Hunters
プ
board.
の
Some of
タイ
them
ミング
are
もちょ
brand
っと分
new.
かってないんですけど、お
There's
そらくスター
I think
ト
it's a
で
list of
か
maybe 20 of them. There's a
開始で
whole
ラス
bunch
ボ
of them,
ス
so you're
を
never
倒し
quite
た
sure
ところでス
what
トップだと
you're
思い
going to
ます。
get from that. As mentioned before, everyone starts at level 1, so everything's kind of normalized to that, and then the stat growth takes over from there once they start gaining some experience.
All right, so we are actually just about ready. So I'm going to go ahead and give a countdown for them on Discord. So it's going to start momentarily. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So I did give them the go, so hopefully that'll start up here in a minute.
There we go now. So what do we got?
All right,
Just-
woo.
Oh,
What do we
there's-
で
have? All right, so they
そ
start
うだ、
out actually in
ちょっ
the
と
Hunters Guild.
今8つ出てる
So
んで
that
す
way
け
they
ど、
can actually check the board and see what they got. The 8
どうもさすがにシード値は固定、パーティーも固定ですいません。パイクはいないって言いましたけど、パイクいますね。ごめんなさい。はい、失礼しました。現在はまあ、宝箱をちょっと漁りに行ってる状況ですね。
The boss of Nervous. Garbage Tower, which would be defeating the boss of Garubert Tower. We, as everyone knows, and whether you play vanilla Fantasy Star 4 or Randomizer, Garubert Tower is known as Garbage Tower.
いるのがパイク、スレイ、
to Valhalla and defeating the boss of Valhalla Fort.
デミ、
And the crash site is just checking the panel and wreckage. So,
ルーン、あと
these
なん
are
だっ
all
け、チャズか。
randomized
主
from the
人公
list.
とヒロイン
And
と
also,、bosses are
まあ、
shuffled
脳
around
筋タイ
as
プの
well.
選手
Raph,
と
do you want to explain that?
これス
I
レイじゃない
certainly
か。
can. So as there
回
are
復の
mostly two categories of bosses that
名前が出てこない。
this randomizer.
回
There's the
復が
quote-unquote
得意な
minor
方の
bosses, and then there's
女の子の
the
方ですね。
bosses, the ones that we all love a lot. And I believe they're still rotating around those groups, if I'm correct, Lady Starbird?
Yes, you have
で
mini bosses and you have major
まあ、
bosses. Each
Android
location
は
has
フォーレンじゃなく
a
て
set
デミ
stat.
の方を使う、デ
So
ミの方を使う
basically, it's a stat of in vanilla what that
まあ
boss had, 4 stats. So if you have a boss,
ちょっ
like
と
say you have
私の
Theo
予
and
想
he
と
ends up in
2人ほど違うパーティーが
Soldier's
入って
Island,
て、
he's going to
結構
have
困
every
困
stat of
惑
what
している
Dark
状
Force
況です。
3 had in that spot. So he's going to have increased HP, mental stats, everything, and he's going to be a lot stronger. So you kind of have to adjust
で、
accordingly.
まあ、
And
ラ
some
ンダマイ
bosses
ザーなんで、
become
道芸屋
very,
の
very
品揃え
much
もラン
more
ダ
powerful
ム
in
な
some
んですけ
different
ど、
places, and others, of course, become weaker. But it also depends on your routing.
Yep, it
まあ、
certainly does.
結構追
So
加
it's
され
always
て
fun when you
る
get to
武
see
器
the
とか
boss
も
like, oh
多
no,
い
that
状
one
況
always
ですね。
sandworm, like, oh, that's gonna be hit so hard. Then you realize it's in a spellcaster kind of slot. It's like, oh, this is actually not as
で、
bad
お金は
potentially,
結
or
構
vice
宝
versa.
箱の
If a
中にやけく
spellcaster's
そ
in
に
the
9000
spot
と
where the
か
sandworm
1
is
万と
because that's a
か、
high physical damage
そんな
slot.
感じで多く入ってます。あ
So
と、
just
Yes.
so I did notice
武器を
early
選
on,
択
looks
した
like
と
we
きに、
had access to a few
下
abilities that
に
I
数
caught
値が
while they
出
were
て
checking
る
the
んですけど、
stats.
マイ
One
ナ
of
ス
them was, I
で、
believe,
マイナス、ハイフン
had
で
barriers,
出て
so that
る
gives access
だけ
to
で、
the
まあ、
barrier
引かれるわけではなくて、
skill,
ちゃ
which
ん
is
とプラ
very,
スの
very
値が
useful to have.
入り
And the
ます。
fact that it's going to be early
な
on
の
will
で、
tell us
いわゆ
that
る
Rico probably have a lot of charges of
なん
that.
だっけ。
And also, I
Yes.
ああ、だい
saw
だ。全
that he
然名
had
前が出
access
て
to
こない。
vision
原
as well.
作
And
に
what that does in the
マイナス
randomizer
補正
will
なる
increase your
バグを、
dexterity, so you're
武
more
器を
accurate,
装備
and
し
also
て、
your crit chance goes
マイ
up.
ナス方向
And
のバ
looking
フ
at
ロー
this
で
group right
強
now,
化
we
す
have
るってい
Rika,
うバグ
Chaz,
が
and
あるん
Grizz.
で
If
すけ
they're
ど、
all swinging for the fences,
それはや
we
ら
actually
ない
may
で
have
す
a
ね。
high physical damage output team here.
で、
Yes, and
こ
vision
の
in the
星
at
で
least
は
the
乗り
English
物
version
が
of
2種類あ
vanilla
るんですけ
had a
ど、
fixed increase
いし
of 6, I believe, is
今
what it
海
was. So
越えた
vision
から、
actually didn't
一
have
番
that much use.
強いや、一番性能が
With
いいやつ
one of
か。
the fixes in the randomizer made it to be more like the Japanese version, which scales off the well, in the Japanese version, I believe it scales off the mental stat, the caster's mental stat, which can be definitely overpowered. In the randomizer, vision now scales off of the caster's dexterity stat, so it increases dexterity based on the caster's own dexterity stat,
ま
which
あ、
again can increase your likeliness of getting a crit.
デ
And
ミと
also
フォーレン
increases
の
your chance of
違いと
hitting,
し
which
て
in some
は
of、these cases, especially like
あの、
Grizz and of course Chaz,
フォーレンだと、
we all know how Chaz likes to
原
miss.
作だと、
It'll
Yeah.
ま
definitely
あ、
help
強
out
い
there.
特技が覚えられるんで
It
すけ
looks
ど、
like
確か
Dumpster
ラン
is
ダマイザー
going
だと
to
どっちで
Wreckage
も使
first,
えるん
which
だ
is
った
actually
かな。
one of the objectives.
まあ、
He
その強
I
い
didn't see. I saw
装
that
備
they
ってい
grabbed a
う
bunch
の
of
は、
teletypes.
特技っていうのは隠しダンジョンに行かないと
Teletypes
も
in
ら
this
えない
game
ん
are
ですけど、
used
ラ
to
ンダマイザー
teleport
なん
to
で、
towns that you've
ま
already
あ、序盤
visited,
で
which
手に入る
can
可能
it's
性
not
が
as
あるっていう
important as
形
escape
です。
types because if you don't have those, you're gonna have to do like walks of shame, and I've done that enough times. And I think Noob looks like he opted to
あ
go
あと、
to passageway first.
依頼なんですけど、
Yeah,
全部
it's a nice
全部
location.
受
It's
け
right
るこ
there.
と
You're
が
able
できて、
to
いちいちカウン
immediately
ターに
go
戻
get
ってこ
item
な
in
くて
there.
も
There's
クリア
another
すれば
treasure
大
chest
丈夫
in
ってい
there
う
for stuff.
形です。
And it takes you
ちょっ
all the way to Cattery to be able to get another item that's hiding in the
とバ
back.
グ、
And then
マイ
you
ナス
also
補
have
正のバ
access
グがない
if
の
you
かどうか
feel
ま
as
では
the
ちょっと確認できて
play
ないんですけ
to the
ど、
spaceport, so you can start going to other
もしか
planets
したら
and start
できるか
exploring.
もしれないですね。ち
So
ょっと
inside wreckage
確実にはご
is
めんなさい、
the
分かってない
access
です。
key, which is also needed to access Valhalla 4, at least the inner parts of it. You can actually go inside the dungeon and fight around a little bit if you wanted to, but it looks like Dumpster completed one objective and he has the access key.
多
And I
分、
don't, and I
し
believe
ばらくはアイテム
I
集
believe
めを
Noob got
する
the
と思
arrow
います
prism。out of Kaderi.
まあ、ランダマイ
Okay,
ザー
so
な
that
んで。
opens up some locations. So with
で、
needing to
出
take
て
out
った
the
クエ
boss
ス
at the
ト
lower
がだい
half
た
of
いボス
the
を倒
bear
す系
castle,
統だったっ
there's
ぽか
access
っ
there.
たので、
However,
ちょっと
we're
ご
probably
めん
not
な
going
さ
to
い。
see that place
ちゃん
for a
と
bit because it does take some
いや
levels and
確
gears
認はでき
to
てな
have
か
a
ったです
chance
けど、
to
ま
go
あ、
through there. And with the access key, we have
1個
access to
エアキャッ
Valhalla
スル
4
の
now
ボ
for
スを
that
倒すっ
objective.
ていうのがあったの
Yes,
で、
and it also opens up the
確
plate
実
system as
に、
well.
まあそうです
One
ね。
thing you'll probably also be noticing is they're not getting into any encounters. So that is actually an option in the randomizer that you can turn off random encounters. So you're probably asking, how do you get stronger for some of these bosses if you don't have random encounters.
あと、ごめんなさい。
Graf,
なん
you
か
wanted
さっ
to
きから
explain
謝
that
ってばかりなんで
magical
すけど、
Magical. Oh, you
いわ
just
ゆる
segued into it
星、
beautifully. Because there
Ah.
is
星
an
の間
item
の移動
that has
も
been
全部できるような状
added
況に
into
なって
this
て、
called
エアキャッス
the
ルに
Meg
も
Lamp
す
or
ぐ
the
行け
Magic
るように
Lamp.
なってます。
And that will allow
あ、
people
依
to,
頼は
when
受
they
け
use it in
な
a
くて
location,
も
just do
大
an
丈夫っぽいな。
on-demand encounter.
今、
So in some places, like for myself, for example, I like going to the passageway near
まあ
Kateria
原
in
作
Aido,
のにあったサブ
and
クエ
I
スト
like
の、
using the magic lamp twice in.
サ
Well,
ンドワーム
I
を
try
倒
to
すっ
get
ていう
2
の
slug
が
fights
あるん
so
で
they
すけ
can
ど、
buy
そ
the two
れ
big
の場所
slug
に行った
and
ら
take them out to get a
ちょっ
big
と別
chunk
の
of
ボ
the
スが出ま
silver.
したね。
So and that's only just one route. There are
で、
a
ス
lot of
レイン
people I
は
think
こ
have
こ
their
にい
own
て、
ways of
ま
how
あ
they like
話し
to
かける
tackle
と、こ
that
の
problem early on in the game.
Yeah, Apple Lady
な
created a
ラン
really
ダム
good
で
shot
アイテムがも
using
らえま
the
す。まあ
magic lamp at Valhalla at level
イ
1
ベントが
for
発生
vorpal
して
grinding
アイテ
because
ム
there's
がも
actually
ら
an
える場所にもアイ
enemy
テムがあるという
in
形になってます。
Valhalla 4 called the Vorpal Sphere. It's powerful and it can one-shot you, but it won't attack you unless you've actually attacked it. So if you have strong enough abilities or some instant death attacks, you can take those out without receiving damage
かなり
even at
本件
level
はガク
1
ガクガクガクしてる。
and gain like 13, 14 levels right from the get-go.
Yep, no, it's a solid way to start. And usually, once you do an initial grind,
エン
anything
カウ
you
ン
take
ト
out after that,
は
there's
切っ
enough
てるの
experience from
か。
going seeing the
ま
objectives
あ、
to allow
追加のアイテム
you
で
to
魔法の
coast
ラン
through
プ
the
っ
rest
て
of
い
the
うの
game
があって、
without
そ
too
れを
much
使う
hassle.
と
An added benefit is a potential
出て
situation.
くるっていう形
Say
ですね。
you find Zio, and you don't have the Psycho Wand to get rid of that barrier. The magic lamp will also double as that same effect
で、
in combat as well.
あ
So that allows for if
ジ
you
オ
do
を
run
倒
into
せっ
Zio
て
and
い
you
うク
have
エ
the
ストがあ
magic
った
lamp
の
on
で、
hand,
最高
you're
温度を
not
探
stopped
さないといけない
by
ですね。
not being able to find the Psycho Wand.
Yee. And that was one thing. It's like I couldn't figure out how.
ち
Because
な
the
みに
logic
魔
just
法
didn't
のラ
work
ン
when
プ
I was
は、
trying to make it. So I was like, okay, people are gonna have the
あ
magic
れ
lamp.
固
Let's at
定
least
だったかどうかは
give
忘れ
that
ました
to
けど、
them.
道具屋
However,
で
in
売
the
ってま
new
す。
version coming
確
out,
か
magic
固
lamp's
定
gonna
だ
be a
ったよ
lot
うな
more
気がする。
expensive. So I'm
Oh
fooling you
no.
all there.
Oh, I just saw me a shop with Psy gear, so that's going to be, to me, I always consider that a noteworthy shop to keep in mind because it's a cheap gear that you can get that has high magic defense, which is rather tricky to get, and it's very good to have that magic defense stat cranked up as you go through the game.
Yeah, especially handy for both Rune and Raja, who's the Psy shield's basically going to be their best shield. Neither of those are actually in this seed, so most likely if they're going to go shield for anybody, it's going to be Reflect Shield, at least for Kira, if they're going magic route with her, depending on what they actually get for items at that point. So right now, they're both kind of making their sweep around. Dumpster looks like he went to a few different towns to get the Ryuka point or the Telepite point so that he can warp around easier. Noob Tree going with one of my favorite
で、
strats
アイ
is
スデッ
just
カーは
getting
さすが
your
に
free
最初から
checks
持
out
っ
of
て
the
ないん
way
で、
early.
ええ
So the hanger,
取らなきゃいけないんですけど、アイスデッカーも
Urchme,
まあランダム
Silence
です。
Temple on
アイスデッカーってい
Rycross.
うのは、この
Um,
氷の星
yeah,
を移動
Apple,
す
I'm
るため
finding
に必
every
要な
way
も
to
の
nerf
です
your
ね。
vorpal grinding. You can still find the magic lamp though, so there is that. It's just a matter of when you're gonna vorpal grind Apple. And what are you talking about? I'm adding a weapon to it called the Thunder Boomerang that's gonna be electrical element, so I'm helping your vorpal grind there, Apple. What are you talking about? So yeah, but he's looks like Noob is. Can
あ、
I just
エ
bang
アキャ
my
スルはさすがに最初から
knuckle
いけ
on
な
the
いか。なんで、
desk? Oh my god.
名前が出てこない。
Basically,
ごめんなさい。
Ring
エアキャッ
Ring
スルを
stories
出
are
す
showing up.
アイ
One
テム
appears to
も
be in
必要
the
になり
Silence
ます。
Temple, and soon both players will have it. And another one was actually in the hangar
なん
under
だっけ。
Tyler. It looked like it was one of the rings as well. So those would be the final head equipment for any character in the game. As well,
スイッ
if we were,
チ
if say
に
this race was
も
in the other game
出
mode
た
where
か
the goal
な。
is to find the five
まあ
rings,
今遊
that's an
ぶなら
objective.
メ
That's
ガ
a
ド
key
ライ
item
ブ
to
ミニ
unlock to
か、
find the
まあ
dungeon.
スイッチ、あ、そうですね。
Yes, in
スイッ
the
チ
original
の
version,
あれで
it's
す
still
ね。
one of the active
あ
modes
の、
in this is basically
オ
just
ン
called
ライン
ring
にい
hunt.
く
You're
ら
just gonna
か
find the
追
five
加する
rings,
と
which
メ
is,
ガド
you
ライ
know,
ブが遊べるように
and
なるんで、
according
その
to
ラインナップ
original
の
lore
中にありま
anyway,
す
you
ね。
wouldn't be able to go into the edge without the rings anyway to protect you from the great evil known as the Profound Darkness. And ring hunt was kind of a way to also do that. You get the five rings, boom, automatically opens up the final dungeon.
And I
So
think I spy with my little eye a slug grind.
I do see a slug grind coming. We have the Algo ring, which was
ま
in
あ、現状
Silence
はあれ
Temple,
です
and the
ね。
Motor
ちょ
ring,
っ
which
と
was
アイ
in the
テム
hangar. The
探し
Motor
をして
ring
るような感じですね。
gives a little bit of agility, but its most important piece is that it increases
ま
fire
あ、
resistance, which
この
is
時点で
great
ラ
for
コニ
Raja
ア
because he
系の
actually
装備と
has
か、
a weakness to fire.
今回、
It's okay for
2番
anybody
目
else. It's
の
only a
キ
plus
ャ
one
ラ、
agility.
2番目じゃな
But
い、
other than
青
that,
い
the
髪
fire
の
resistance
女
always
性
helps. We
が
do have a
スラッ
Debbie
シャ
in
ー
here
使い
though,
なん
so
で、 ムーンスラッシャー
the
とか
Palmer
が
ring of the
使え
right
れば
cross ring is actually going to be quite
いい
important for
感じ
her,
ですね。
especially in the
で、
final
右
boss.
側の方が
if they
今
can
レベ
find
ル上
you.
げですね。
Yes,
こ
that'll
の
be.
合体するスライ
Oh,
ムを
Chaz
倒
man.
すと
There's the
結構
reset.
経
No,
験値
it's
もらえるんですけど、ま
yeah,
あ
no. The
さ
objective
す
for
が
what
に
the
レベ
Nuke
ル
is
1
trying
は
to
き
do
つい気がする
is
な。
that encounter in particular can have 2 to 4 slugs in it, and you want to knock it down to just 2 slugs, or it may start with 2. They automatically combine into the much bigger slug, and then you're trying to kill that one. However, at level 1, if things don't go to plan, they can be taken out rather quickly by, say, if you don't have any good
セー
strong
ブ
weapons at the
が、
start.
まあ、
For
特
what
に
was
セー
found.
ブコマンド
So,
しないで
4 and an
出し
ambush,
てるん
that's
で
no
あれ
good.
なんですけど、
That's gonna be
オー
trouble.
トセーブモード
That
み
is
たいな
that,
のが
especially
確
at
かあった
level
はずで
1
す。
and with no armor. 2
あ
would be
と、
perfect because then you can just
自
defend
分
and
でセー
merge.
ブする場
If
合
you have
も、
anybody with
ダンジョン
instant
の
death
中と
attack,
かで
they
も
can
セーブで
sometimes
きるよ
take
う
it
になっ
out.
てます。
An apple lady
で、
discussing her disdain for slug grind.
つ
I'm with you, Apple Lady. I prefer the Vorpal grind too, to be honest. And the Vorpal grinds
2
are very
の、
much reset
なんだ
heavy
っ
as
け、
well, though,
の、
because the monsters there,
手癖が悪
the
い女性
robots
キャ
there
ラで
anyway,
どこでも
are
セーブで
you
き
have to
る
be
アイ
kind
テム
the
を
game
盗める
originally
んです
intended
け
to
ど、
be in
ま
your
あ、
20s, maybe
そ
30s
んな感
before
じ
you
で
even
すね。
hit Valhalla for it. Passageway, you can be in your preteens. You can the game probably originally tended between 8 and 12 to get the hanger, so the monsters
う
aren't nearly as
ん、
tough.
ちょっと右
The
側
meta
は
slugs
さす
give
が
quite a
に
good bit of
レベル
experience,
1
not as much as the
で、
Vorpal spheres, but it's enough to get you
ス
possibly
ライ
through
ム倒しはちょっときつ
the
い気が
first
する。
few bosses.
Yeah, and it's a nice convenient location as well because you just hop out of the cave, you just go over to the east a little bit, and my prime first target
あ、
for a
はい
boss
は
to
い、
take
知る
out,
か。はい。
it's always the sandworm spot. So I'm curious. So I believe Dumpster actually checked that spot, and it was the 3 servants in there.
Yes,
So a high physical damage boss fight and a high physical location.
ラージャー
That
の
one I
助
have a
言
feeling is going to be
は、
dodged for a little bit because that may be tricky until they get access to, say, D-band
ギャグ
or
が出
an
てく
item
る
that
だ
will
けだ
allow
と
them
思
to
います。
cast the
お
physical
そらく
defense
です
buff
け
so
ど。
they have a chance of surviving it easily.
Yeah, and having 3, all 3 of them have the exact same stats as a sandworm, so they got like 1200 HP a piece, and because it's high at physical attack, all of
まあちょっと
the
日
servants'
本で
attacks
遊ぼ
are
うとする
physical,
と、海
so
外
they
の
need some
実ロ
they
ムを
need extra
まあ
defense
eBay あ
and
たりで買っ
some
てっていうか、
mitigation in order
追加
to
してっていう形に
get
なるんで、
past
ちょ
them.
っと
And the
めん
other
どくさ
thing
いで
is
すね。
that the servants also have quite a lot of resistances. They're especially to even the mechanical element. The mechanical element is there are how many elements in this game? Like 12, I think. The mechanical is one that it's a flag that
まあ
how do I want to word this to make sense? It's basically a weakness, but a lot of the mechanical abilities are instant death. Although the hyper jammer is a stun, but the
レ
two
ベ
that
ル
are
この
bros
モードで
and
も使えるか、まあ
Spark
使えるは
instant
ずな
death,
んで
but
すけど、
servants are
簡単
pretty
に、まあ、レベル
strong
上げする
against
方
it,
法
which
と
is
しては
very
乗り
odd
物
for a
に乗っ
mechanical
て
being.
敵を出した方が
And
早いような気はするんですけど、
so
使え
now
ない
if
のか
any of them
な。
had explode, that could easily take them out.
Yeah, that's a different story right there. And that's kind of
まあ
a
経
fun
験値は
part
そんな
about
高くない
this game in
から
general
微妙っちゃ
is
微妙
yeah, they
か。
have all these instant
楽には
kill
倒せる
abilities or
け
just
ど。
variety of abilities, but these ones are good against this, these are good against that. So you have to really start understanding what you have access to. Ooh, 4 sand newts. I've not seen this in a long time.
We're Noob doing vanilla strats right now. He's just
Oh,
going
yeah.
right for the newts.
the original grind.
Yep. It's like we need Rude just for his human. And as you can see, I was gonna say, did he use magic
あ、
lamp there?
あ
Because if he
と、
did, then there's just a
あの
random
今、
encounter. I got a bug I gotta fix.
ま
So that's not.
あ、パイ
if
ク
he did
が
use the magic lamp.
ダガーで
Oh,
攻
I know
撃
what
して
he.
たんで
I
す
think I
け
know
ど、
what he used the
実
magic
は
lamp for. He was
このバージョ
one
ン、斧があり
issue
ま
with
せ
the
ん。
magic lamp is that it teleports you to your last transition spot. So if you went into a room, opened a chest, used the magic lamp, you'll be back at the door. I guess that's the magical part of the lamp. I don't know why it does that either. It just does.
Let's see. I did notice as well, I believe one of the towns on the Zolos as well, actually the guard weapon shop was found because there was a
な
guard
い、
sword and a plasma
読
launcher for
ん
sale.
だ限
So that may
テ
be
キ
a
ストを
high
読んだ
ticket
限り
item
で
for
は
later
ない
as
と書
well.
いてありまし
If
た。
they feel that
本
their
当にない
weapons
か
are
どう
not
かはちょっと
showing
わ
up,
か
they
ん
may
ない
have
です
to
けど。
spend some cash. And they can get some really solid stuff for Demi and Chaz. To at least get the damage rolling at the start. Ooh, hello.
Yeah, and I'm seeing over on Noob, Tono has the Elemental Weapon Shop, which he's picking up, looks like a couple Thunder Claws, which are another another Apple Lady strat is picking up Thunder Claws to use on Vorpals. So we could possibly be seeing Noob do some Vorpal grinding, but
装備してない
he's going
か。
to go into the Tono basement.
なるほ
There's no
ど。
boss
ごめんな
here,
さい
but it is a
ないん
free.
では
There's
なくて
plenty of
装備
chests
し
here
て
if
な
he
いみ
wants
たいで
to
すね。
check for that, or he can just go for the what was originally the Allschline in
翻訳は
and it's just an
DeepL を
incentivized
使ったんで、ある
chest
程
right
度の
now. So there's going to be if there's going to be
あ
key
の
items,
な
they're
んていう
going
か
to be
誤
in
差
the
みたいなのがあ
incentivized
ると思い
chests.
ます。
Yeah, I'll be curious to see. Because last time I tried to dodge this place as long as I could. Because like, oh, I need an Alshaline. I need to go find this. Where do I find it? In the place it was supposed to be. He's like, come on, game.
And you're like, is this even randomized?
Because I think Victor Axe. Okay, we're talking.
Okay. So the Victor Axe is it was the defeat axe in vanilla, and it's now one of the legendary weapons in the game, and it's been repurposed. It is now
すいま
light
せん。間
elemental
違えた
like the
情報を
Alcidian, the Psycho Wand, and the
言ってしまい
Silver
ました。
Tusk. And the Victor Axe on Grizz, and it's
あ
also the name of
の
it is
パイ
also
ク
a
は、
whip
まあ、
from
さっき言っ
defeat to
た
victory. It's
5つ
kind
の
of
リン
a
グ
play on,
を
but the
集
Victor
め
Axe
る
is
モードだ
also a
と、
weapon in Fantasy Star Online.
氷弱
So
点を克
I
服で
kind
き
of
る
just
ので、
did
まあ、
that, and yeah, we're definitely 3 Thunder Claws,
タンク
and
として
I
使
think
え
we're going to
な
be seeing some Vorpal
いわけ
grinding
ではない
here.
という形ですね。
Yep.
However, it's also very reset heavy because if you don't get it, because everyone's agility is so low, you're going to get outturned every time. And so we're going to probably be seeing some resets until we at least get a single Vorpal Sphere fight.
And it looks like on Dumpster side, we're actually going to see an actual boss fight now. Because we're going to the basement of the cat. Oh, Guard Claw. There we go. Rika's got some gear now. So that's going to be
Nice.
an excellent start. So, yeah, I think we got some damage there. So that's good. So let's see what this boss is once Save Anywhere is done. Sandworm? That early
Sandworm?
on? Okay.
It's actually nice because Sandworm, again, the boss at the basement only has 300 HP, so it can be taken down very easily.
本来はこ
But
こ、
we're about to see
ま
Noob
あ、
Tree gain a
一番
ton
弱い
levels.
ボスが出るところ
Four
なんですけど、
Vorpals is
左側です
as
ね。
good
左
as
側は
you
一番弱い
want,
ボス
and
が
you
出
can
る
just
と
see
ころなんですけ
Thunder
ど、
Claws
サン
just
ド
wrecking
ワ
through
ームという、ま
everything.
あ、ちょっと
Thunder
序盤
Claws are
の
worth its
難
weight
敵
for
ぐらい
this
の
type of
ボスが
grinding.
出ちゃ
So
ってますけど、まあ、
that's
あっさ
like
り
one fight. He's at level 15. He's ready to take
倒し
on
ました。
quite a few of the objectives.
Yeah, and we just saw out of the Academy basement, we had the Eclipse Torch, which is actually going to be required to complete one of the hunts that we need to do over at Garbaru Tower.
フレームレートの
Yes,
関係
the
で、まあ今
garbage
一瞬見え
tower
ましたけど、
is
ジオを倒
one
す
of
た
the
め
two
に
key、items.
今、
The
黄色のバリア
Eclipse
みたい
Torch is
な
one
の
of
が
two
かか
key
ってた
items
と
you
こ
need
ろ
in
を
order to get to
最
Garbaru Tower.
高
Much
温度
like
で
in
解除
vanilla,
しな
you
きゃ
need
い
the
けない
Eclipse
んで、
Torch, but unlike in vanilla,
まあ、レ
you
ベル
actually
上
need
げ
to use it
と
as
ア
an
イテ
item in
ム
order
回収を兼ね
to
て
destroy the
いけ
Academy
るダン
trees
ジョンに行っ
blocking
てる
the
ような感じだと思います。
tower.
で、
I
まあ
don't
最
think
高温度
anyone
が
ever
出てきた
calls
らお
it
そらく
rubric
ジオを
anymore.
倒す
It's
のではない
garbage.
かと思い
It's
ます。
just garbage.
I
あ、
forced
あと
myself
エア
very
キャッスル
hard to
の
actually say it correctly,
アイテム
or
は
at
エ
least
ア
I
ロ
think
プリズムでした。今
correctly.
思い出しました。
But yeah, I guess right now, because that's the only spot that actually requires 2 key items to access it, because the torch is required, but we still need an ice digger to actually get there in the first place. So that's going to be the other one of the outstanding
と、
progression items we're
お
going
そ
to
ら
need to be
く
able to see this
あれ
through.
かな。まあ今、
So like at
パ
level
ーティーにいるん
7,
ですけど、
excuse me, Dumpster is going to be going towards
本
the
来はここ、
the boss spot
デミが
here.
捉えられてる
And oh, that
場所になって
okay.
いま
It's
す。
not going to deal that much
あ
damage because Dominators only use physical attacks, and this is actually a low physical stat spot.
Mhm.
こ
But
れいけるか
that's still a
な。
lot of HP.
結構機
per.
械
On the
系
good
は
side, though,
リ
they
セッ
can
トし
be
ましたね。
insta-killed, but it looks like Dumpster is
機
saying
械
no.
系はきつい、
Oh,
その
I
状
don't
況
have enough to
では
deal
ちょっ
with
と
this
き
right
ついよ
now.
うな気がするな。
Okay, okay.
あ、やめましたね。
But he also knows he has to get here because it is an objective.
Bingo. Oh, looks like we'll maybe see the servants here and see what they do here.
And now
Which is-
the worm pit is an objective here, but also the boss here gives a ton of XP as well. And it wouldn't surprise me, I think, if he gains another like 10 levels or something from here.
I think whenever I do my slug grind, I get to around 10 to 11, and if I complete the objective here, it automatically kicks me up to level 18. Once you're that, you're coasting
so
for
cool.
the rest of the game.
Yeah, we can see Noob Tree right now setting up a few
あ
macros
ー
here.
左
Griff, do you want to
側
explain
が、
to anyone
ま
not
あ、
familiar what the
原
macro
作の
system
サ
is
ブ
in
クエ
this
ストにあっ
wonderful
た
game?
地震
I would
の
love to talk about
の
macros
原因を
because
探してっ
macros
ていう
are
サ
one
ブ
of
クエス
the
トがあったんで
main
す。
selling
カオ
points of
ス
this
そうしたら、
game. If you
こ
want
の
to,
時
you
点
can
でカオ
set
ス
it
そう
up
したら倒
so
せ
you
ん
can
のか
just
な。
on demand do a set actions in a set order. So as we saw there, Barry was the top of the list. It's always going to be the turn orders will wait until that person can be first, and then everyone else is shunted under it to the best of the ability. And then we can set
あ
up things like
やめまし
a
た
buff
が
macro
のボ
where
ス
we
の
want
8
all of our
個の
buffs
うちの1種類
to
か。
come out on the first round. And then after that, we may have a healing macro or an all-out damage macro, whatever you feel like that you want to use. But it makes it so that if you're very quick at setting them up and you know what to
こ
do,
れ、
you can start getting those
あれ
prepped ahead of time for bosses, and you can just go have a good old time with them.
And
まあ、
look,
カオ
we
ス
see
ソーサラ
Dumpster
自体
also
は
looking
実は
at
その
a
エアキャッ
high
スル
XP
に、
spot
ああ、
run
じゃない
into a
な。これ
Chaos
はあれか。
Sorcerer, which
飛
Kira
行機
is
が落ちる、
really
飛
low
行
on
機っ
HP
ていう
right
か、宇
now,
宙
but
船が
Chaos
落ちる
Sorcerer is
時の
also
ボスで
one
す
that
ね。
can be insta-killed. And by Kira.
Yep,
あ
Akira.
あ、
Well, it looks like for the servants at least, 2 insta kills hit because we got an explode and also a crash that came in. So now just maybe hoping for a third one or actually chewing through that just shy of 1500 HP each, I believe.
Something like that. Yes, it would still be quite a bit of a long fight. And the servants also, if all three are on the board and you're using an AoE attack, you're going to get some lag. That is something that was in vanilla
There
too.
we
But
go. And there's the hold down the
And-
button if you have a
So
turbo
the-
on.
the third class of instant death attacks is known as destruction. And basically, they can work on both monsters and mechanical beings, where biological death attacks will only work on biological beings.
まあ、
mechanical
基本
will
的
work
に
on
は、
mechanical, and
アイ
destruction
テ
will,
ム集
can
め
work on any
し
of them.
て、ま
It
あ、
doesn't
レベルある
necessarily
程
mean
度
it's
上げ
going
たら
to,、but
クエストで指定されてる
abilities like crash, explode, negate,
ボスを
slow
倒したり、
negate is
まあ、
so wonderful if you can get
問
it.
題を解
If you can
決
get
し
it
たり
on
という
Rune
形
first,
で
because
すね。
Rune's the only one that can use it.
で、
But it's an
今、
AoE destruction ability, and if I did that
この右側の方
my
は、
first or a few weeks
塔にい
a
る
few
や
days
つ
ago when I
が、
was testing out a seed, I
そ
had
の
Rune
8個の
with
うち
Negatus
の
in
一つ
slot
の
1,
倒す
so
べ
he
き
had
ボ
4
スの
charges
一
of it,
人
and
な
I
ん
went
で、
Vorpal grinding right off the bat.
それを倒そうと
And
してる。
within the
左
first
側
4, he was able to take him
も
out.
そうなのかな。
Of course, the odds of hitting are not are the odds of hitting an instant death attack are based on the
ま
cast
あ、
one of the
深夜
caster's
の時
stats
間
depending on
時
the
間
ability.
帯
It's
なの
usually
で、
going to be either strength or
後
caster's
からも
mental
見れ
stat,
る
but it
ので、
also is determined on
やばくな
the
ったら寝てくださいっ
the
ていう形
target's
で。
defense, and it's usually magic defense. It sometimes can be their strength as far as what saves them. A lot of the calculations in this game are very convoluted, I'm gonna say.
Oh, it's like, oh yeah, now we're seeing the whiffs and the 1 damages from the Dominator bots here. So I think Nutri will have not too much. Yeah, 1 damage off a double.
右はいけそうです
That's
ね。ダメージ
should be。no
まあ、
problem.
バリア
Grizz
と
with
かの
Warcry is
特
so
に
as
ダメージを
Warcry
抑え
and
つ
the
ついき
Victor
そうな
Axe,
感じですね。
Grizz is
あ
going to be
いわゆる
he's
バ
gonna
フで
murder
バフ
these
は
things. What
解除
Warcry
しない
does,
と
it's a
永続の
self
タイ
attack
プの
buff
ゲー
that
ムです。
raises
これは。
the caster's attack power by
おー
their strength.
ー
Grizz has the highest strength in the game.
今ダメージが出
And
なかった
so
ん
with that,
ですけ
he
ど、
is just
いわゆ
going
る
to destroy
即
things.
死系の
And
スキル
he's
が
got crash,
なんとかしたと
so
いう形ですね。
the whole meme was always
で
by
た
Grizz, at least in
捕まってる
vanilla.
自分を
We
助け
say
ると
hi
いう
Grizz here.
ちょっと矛
Yeah,
盾
no,
した行
Grizz
動
once
が
fully
今
kitted out
発生しまし
swings
た。
for the fences, does not care for anybody's feelings, is just going to get the job done.
And it looks like Dumpster's now ready for the servant fight.
Yeah, it looked like at the top of the Zeo's fort there is actually, it was a guard robe. So part of the loot table in the incentivized locations is actually 1 piece of guard armor for each of the characters that's in the party. So you know you'll have access to the best armor in the game while going through all this. Kind of annoying if you're looking for the progression items, but it's a nice thing to have nonetheless, because it does make the later boss fights much more manageable.
また説明し
Yes,
忘れてた
especially
こ
since
とを
also
ちょっ
guard
と今
robe.
思い出したんで
Originally
す
in
けど、
vanilla, the magic defense of guard robe was actually less than the reflect.
まあ、い
You know,
わゆ
that's
る
the
テクニ
excuse.
ック
Like
と
if you're gonna
か
have best
特
armor
に
in the game, you might as
まあ、
well,
テクニックって
you know,
言
make
っ
it
た方
worth
がいいか。
getting.
テクニックとかの名前が、
So
まあ、
Oh, this is where the chaos
フ
source
ァンタシースターだ
Okay,
と、
I get
フ
you.
ェイエ、ラフェイエ、
Yes,
ギ
so
フェイエと
basically
か、
they're
まあ、
just
ちょっと
flip-flopping
わか
at this
り
point,
づらい
right?
んですけど、
Although
フェ
I
イエ
don't,
1、フェイエ
yeah,
2、フェイ
Dumpster
エ
noped
3
out
み
of
たいな
Zeos
感じ
4,
で、
which he'll
数
probably
字
do
をつけ
after
た
this because he'll have
タイ
enough
プの名
levels
前に
because
も
he
する
saw
こ
those
とができま
Dominators and
す。
said no.
I'm wondering if Noob Tree actually found the Snow Crown, one of the items that's been set up in this randomizer to provide you with a group-wide buff. In this case, for the Snow Crown, it actually oh, guard rod, handy that.
感じとしては右の
Provides
方が早いか
access to
な。
the deban spell on demand, so it
レ
increases
ベ
your
ルが
physical
かなり上がっ
defense,
てるし。
and that makes a big difference because if you don't have that, things like those
お
mortal
そらく
cannons from the
左は
servants,
この後、
those
塔
potentially
の
hit a
ボス
lot
を
harder
倒
all
し
of a
に
sudden,
行くと
especially
思
when
い
there's
ま
three of
す。
them doing them back to back to back.
Yeah, according to what I'm sorry, I had the spoiler log in front of me. Snow Crown was in Zealand, so I'm pretty sure they both got it. I'm cheating now.
You send me the ROM so I can go
あ、
look
そっ
at it
か。
to get my initial notes,
そうです
but
ね。
you
ファイ
hold
ナル
on
ファ
to
ン
the
タ
good
ジー
stuff.
もキャル1、キャル2、キャル3みたいな名前になってましたね。
I can
It's like-
send it to you if you want.
Don't worry about it. It's more fun for me this way.
Okay.
おムーン
Yeah,
ス
the
ラッ
Snow
シ
Crown
ャ
was
ー
in
は
Zealand
入ったけど、
for that.
装備させん
And
の
I
かな。
believe. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something.
There was a,
No, Doom Trees. Okay, so actually, because we're not able to do trackers on here, I am kind of trying to keep track of things anyway. This game can get away from things. I don't recall if Noob Tree
Reflect
has. Ooh, Reflect Mail is nice.
Yeah.
Did
there
Noob
was
Tree do Wreckage? Yes, he did. So he's got the access key.
Yeah.
So Noob Tree right now has 3 objectives done, and all the free objectives. So now we're looking at the objectives for what's locked behind things right now. And both of them have the Arrow Prism, which at this level they could make an air castle run if they wanted to. We still need the Ice Digger. We still need the Psycho Wand. The access key we do have,
まだ
and
最高温
they
度が見
might
つ
be
か
a
っ
little
て
low
ないっ
level
ぽい
for
ような
Valhalla 4.
話をしてるかな。
But to be fair, Valhalla 4 could have Iglanova as the boss, and it's like, oh, who cares if it's got 1,000 hit points or not? It's Iglanova. No one cares.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of curious to see what will be done here because it just getting Valhalla Fort now would be nice just to get it out of the way, and I don't think there's really a heck of a whole lot left on Motavia to do. Could be some more exploring elsewhere, but yeah, without that ice digger, that's going to make things a lot trickier because one planet is
ま
effectively
あ
just locked
25、
down.
4、
You can't
24
do
ぐらいか。
anything there until you can get that ice digger,
ってる
and
か
the Psycho
ら。
Wand will only unlock a single location.
そう
So
です
that's
ね。
not
ボ
so
ス、
bad.
塔の
But
ボスを倒
now
す
we're。going to see some Ladea Towers.
進
So
行的
hey,
には
maybe
右の方
we'll
がお
we'll
そ
see
ら
what
く
we need
早
up
いで
there.
す。
Everyone get
お
your
そらくっていうか、まあ、塔のボス
any of
倒し
your
てるから、
jam emotes
ク
out
エスト
now
1個ク
because
リアして
we
る
are going
形
through
になり
Ladea
ますね。
Tower and actually not having to stop for encounters because we don't have encounters. Haha.
We get to hear the song loop.
Yes, we do, and we'll get to hear it again because
右の
Air
方
Castle
は
is
まあ
required.
元
Yes, as well.
本
That is
来
very
の、
true.
まあ、元のバージョンだ
Alright,
と
so
最高
Dumpster's
温度が
now
あると
feeling
みんな
confident
言って
enough
ま
to
す。
take out the Dominators
け
and
どま
Zeos
あ、
4.
ランダマイザーなんであるかないかは開
And
け
he
てみ
should
な
be
いとわ
fine
か
at
ら
this
ないという
level.
形で
I
す。
At
think
level
so,
7,
yeah.
I would probably have noped too if I had seen Dominators at level 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually coming in here at level 7 is feels mighty sketchy to me.
Yeah, it does.
ボス戦はあ
Depending
る
on the
か。
boss, though, I mean, I have
No.
had Iglanova here
あ
at
るか、さ
at
すが
low
に。
levels before, but again, you're taking a big chance. It's one boss out of 9 that it could do that.
Lashik
Wow.
at the top of Ladea
ら
Tower.
しい子が出
Okay.
ちゃった。
At least they have access to all the major buffs required. So we'll see how hard Thunder Halberd or another gate hits for here.
Another gate could still hit very hard because it has a big base damage.
Okay.
And Thunder Halberd is still going to do some damage on Demi. Thankfully, not as much.
Yeah, at least she can survive multiple hits there, so that will allow some time to get some uptime. And one thing that's very important
まあ、
for
本来だ
a lot of the
と
bosses in the game, like Dark Force or Zeo,
エ
for
アキャッス
example,
ル
you
の
expect
下
things
に
the holy elements are
出
going to
る
do a
ボ
lot
ス
of
で、
damage,
まあ、
which they
クエ
do.
ストの
But
中に
Lashik's
も
actually a little
エア
different.
キャッスルの
He's
下
actually weak to
下っ
fire,
ていうか、
and
まあ、
fire, and I
中
saw
心
some
部
fire
に出
spells
る
in the list there.
ボス
So
を倒す
we
ってい
got
うの
some
があるんで
access
すけど、
to
今
some
回得た
goodies
かどう
here.
かちょっと
I'm just
ごめんなさ
sad
い、見
there's
れ
no.
てなかったで
There
す
was
が、
the Flame Sword in
まあ、
Tono, and he didn't pick up the Flame
クエ
Sword
スト
to
的
use
に
here.
はそ
I
の
am
場
very
所に
sad.
出るボス
And
を
the
倒
thing
す
is,
なん
there
で、
was a
ラ
big
ンダム
call shot, I
で
believe, there too. So
出て
Demi
き
could have
た
had
ボ
some
スを倒
fire
してもおそら
damage
く
as
意
well.
味はないと
That
思う。
415
Chris-
crit from Grizz.
Oh, I know. Lashik has equal weakness to both light and fire elemental, but fire Fire feels more fun using against Lashik, to be honest. He is quite a bit weaker in Ladea Tower compared to Air Castle. However, another gate can still hit very hard. However, because Grizz is dealing like 400 damage per shot, we're already at the reinforced stage of Lashik.
まあ、このラ
What
シークってい
reinforced
うの
does
は、
is increase all
1
Lashik
の、
stats by
シ
20.
リーズ1のボス、
That
ラ
can
スボ
be
スですね。
mitigated by use of the Cycle Wand or the Magic Lamp here. But at this, when Grizz can just wreck things, you don't need to really worry about debuffing him when one more turn is just going to kill him at that point, especially at Ladea Tower.
とこ
You're
の
dealing that much
たま
damage.
に飛行場に来て
He
左右の、
automatically will use reinforce when his HP
な
reaches
謎の場所に
25%
触れ
or
て
less.
フラッシュしてますけど、こ
So
れ
good
が
thing to
いわゆ
keep
る
in
全
mind.
回復の
Yep.
Especially if he ends up in like Soldier's Island.
Yes, because that's a very important part. One thing that's not required story-wise when you play the game normally, but is still an option, is when the
これ
reinforce
は
phase
アイス
is
デッカー
up,
を
you
探
can
す
actually
羽
use
目
the
になり
cycle
そうな
wand to
感
get
じだ
rid of
な。
that buff, and the magic lamp in the randomizer as well will do the same thing. So if you encounter the Sheik in one of those really top-end spots, strongly recommended to do that because you could still be one-hit KO'd by, say, another gate by accident.
Yes. The reward for defeating Lashik there was the Silver Tusk. And
Yes.
the silver tusk keeps its element from the original, but to make it in line with legendary weapons, the power of the silver tusk is increased. So it is actually now Rika's strongest weapon.
Yep, and we got that combined with the guard claw as well. So Rika is ready to go. Grizz is ready to go for damage. I believe I also saw a Moon Slasher in someone's inventory earlier. So if we have something set up for Kira, she could actually turn into a high
まあ
physical
こんな感
damage
じで
against some of the bosses as well.
ライアも出てき
Speaking
ま
of
す。
slashers, look who our boss is of Valhalla.
これ、原作にはな
Character
かっ
number
た
6 of the
か
party.
はずなんだけど
Yep,
な。
character number 6. So Alice actually is, or both
まあ
Alice
ライア
and
っていう
Seth
の
are
は
actually playable
先ほど
characters in
最初
this,
の方
and
に
you
説明
can
した
use them like
途
anybody
中
else.
で死んで
The
しま
game,
う、
there's
まあ、
originally
スレイ
11
っていう
characters in
キャ
the
ラがい
game,
るんですけど、
and
その、まあ、
the
恋
game
人っ
randomly
ていう
picks sides.
形で、
One
チャ
thing
ズ
about this
の、
randomizer, though,
師
is
匠
you can
ってい
also
う
have
形、
multiple of
立
the
場の
same
キャ
character.
ラ
I
ですね。
wouldn't recommend it because of the way damage calculation works in this game.
ああ、リカの
But you can also have less characters in your party. So you could literally go, and when I first tried this feature out, I did a solo Chaz run throughout the game, and I had to be like in mid 80s in order to beat the game. So that's one of the things here. You can have 5 characters max. You can have 1 character and anything in between. It's totally up to you how you want to do it.
Mhm. Actually, something that I don't believe we talked about as well was the addition of debuff spells that we have access to. Did you want to elaborate on that?
うん、見
Yes,
た動
so
画だとあっさり
basically,
倒してたから、
you
I
can
don't know.
actually use debuff
ス
spells
テ
in
ータス
this now,
が
where they
その
didn't
出
see
る場
much
所の
use
ボス
in
のステータスにな
vanilla.
ってるのかな。
In some cases, they actually
そう、ご
will
めんなさい。
work
そこまでは分かっ
against some
て
of
ない
these
状況で
bosses.
す。
Spells like Doran, which lowers your target's defense, and all of the debuff spells are AOE. So if they hit it'll hit all of them, or a few of them, or just one of them, or even none of them. But Doran reduces the target's defense. Illusion lowers their dexterity. Galoon lowers their attack power. Telele lowers their
ああ、
attack
リン
power,
グ、
which are
今
all
リン
nice.
グ取っ
Shadow
たん
lowers
で、
their
リ
agility.
ング
So
は
if
出る
you
みたいですね。
sometimes can't find yourself a buff,
惑星の名
to
前
help,
等が
you
つ
can
いた
try a
リングが
debuff,
5
and
種
you
類
might be able
あ
to
りま
accomplish
す。
the same thing.
で、
So if you don't
で
have the
ま
band, but you have Giloon or
あ、
Telele,
炎耐性と
you
か
could
氷
still
耐性と
turn
かなんか
your
ついてるみたい
enemies'
で。
attacks into like 1 damage, 2 damage, whatever. You weaken them significantly with it.
And I see the loot at the Valhalla Fort was actually the Rykros ring, so now Demi can actually survive lightning attacks now.
Yeah, so one thing about both Ren and Demi is they're weak to lightning attacks. Because hey, you're robots. You're gonna get electrocuted. You might as well just fry. The Palmer ring was
すいません、
originally the
失礼
only
し
ring
ま
in
し
the
た。
game that had the lightning protection. The Rykros ring in vanilla was also just a key item. It couldn't be equipped by anybody. Well, it can now, and it also has lightning
アイ
resistance.
ス
It
アイ
doesn't
ス
have as
デッ
much
カーが出
defense,
ないと
but it does
氷
offer, I
の、
believe, a point of
惑
mental, if I
星、
recall
あ、
correctly.
ジオが出たけ
There's
ど、
that Zeo fight, and
All right.
Where's that magic lamp? There it is. Okay, we're good. Now it's just buffing turn.
All right, so this is actually a good place for Zio to be, for at least you, for the player anyway. Strength
Nice.
Tower has the boss here has like no, they don't have much in the way of mental stat. They have a lot of attack, so the only one you really have to worry about from Zio is his normal attack, what we call crit stick, because it hurts. His other
マジックランプで確か、最高温度の代わりができるみたいなの書いてあった気がした。
Or magic lamp, in which case he's going to use Black Wave every turn, and that will one shot you guaranteed.
Yep, and that was Grizz, keep up the good work. Oh wow, that corrosion, it still tickles. Okay.
Yes, so be glad he's not encouraged tower, because that's
yeah.
I get scared whenever he's encouraged tower or Soldier's Island.
Yeah, I think that kind of touches on the two places that I'm really worried about where bosses are. It will be Courage Tower or Soldier's Temple, because some bosses, as you mentioned earlier, they just get incredibly grimy when they're there, and things get kind of tricky. Oh, and there's a use of the Guard Rod. For anyone that doesn't know, it's actually an item that casts Gisar for free. That will heal all the living party members for about 60 to 70 in grand total. And in the randomizer, you can find that early. That's really good, because if you can have, it allows you to potentially brute force the bosses that they're doing damage, but you have no heal spells because you haven't had a chance to do a lot of leveling yet. That is the ticket right there to keep you going.
And Mel, I'm gonna say I love the Power Rangers Zio reference right there. No, Apple Lady, you are right. Dumpster Player does not have. He has not gone to Tono, so he does not have the Victor Axe. So you're seeing how much less damage Grizz does.
Yeah,
I don't know what Grizz has right now.
Yeah, I didn't actually pay attention. If Grizz is just using items, I wonder if Grizz just doesn't even have a weapon equipped right now.
He might not. One strategy you can use with Grizz is tank Grizz, because Grizz has a ton of HP and a ton of defense.
Okay.
何度かウォークライしてから戦ってるから、上書きではなくて、強化が積み重ねられるのかな、これ。原作では確か上書きだった気がするけど。
And at least in the randomizer, he.
Okay, that's not so bad. It's survivable.
It's survivable, but that hurts. Seeing that much damage on another gate in Ladea Tower is painful.
Ooh. All right, so now there's our talked about Courage Tower now, so we'll see what's hiding at the top of there.
Yeah, Courage Tower is, even in Vanilla Speedrun, is a lot scarier.
そうですね、ウォークライ要因っぽいですね。なんかまた喉の調子が。
Courage Tower has always been scarier for me. Just because normally the boss just hits like a truck with magical abilities, and if Noob is lucky, he's not going to. He'll have like a high attack boss, or a boss that specializes in attacks.
誰が出る？
no.
This is probably the scary
3形態目かな、
Okay,
これ。
And he outturned
あ、
everybody.
違う、2形態目か。
Yeah, at least it was a sleepy Grizz, and Grizz wasn't part of the buff rotation, so I think that's an excellent start. You couldn't.
3形態目は確か
So
長い剣を持
hopefully
ってる
Noob
から。
Tree here just hopes for Lightning Shower. There's
2
three
形態目
attacks
な気が
Dark
する。
Force 2 can
1
use
形態
here.
目はもっとなんか
Lightning Shower, which is
グ
an
ロいという
AoE
か、肉
lightning
々し
attack.
い感じだった気
Evil
がす
Eye,
る。
which is what he used on Grizz first thing, which that you couldn't ask for a better opening turn. And of course, we have Shadow Breath. Shadow Breath is a single target ability, scales off mental, and
まあ、
because
デミ
this
と
is
フォー
a
レ
higher
ンは
mental stat,
まあ機械なの
what
で
Dark Force 2 normally
雷
is,
系の
Shadow Breath will
攻
one
撃に
shot
弱いって
anybody
いう
even at
まあ
this
弱点
level,
があ
and
り
no
ます
matter。what defense they have,
リ
they can
ン
be
グ
mitigated.
があ
Shadow
れば
Breath
この
is probably
雷
still
の
going to
弱点
one
も
shot.
克服はできる
Yeah, no,
形に
this
は
is
なってます
scary.
けど、おそらく
Yeah,
見
no,
つかっ
Dark
てないで
Force
すね。
in this location is out
ま
to
あおそら
take
くというか
names
装
of
備
the
してない
Riley
んで見つかってない
288.
です。
That was a 40 overkill on
これ
Grizz right
倒せる
there,
のかな？
who's the person with the most HP in this party
もう
right
ちょ
now.
い、
So that's
でも30
don't know
代
what kind of
か。
armor Grizz had equipped yet, but I don't recall seeing any guard mails yet. So probably not something quite as good as that.
No, and we do have a revive spell here, but we're gonna see the
Kira.
location.
ちょっと、あれですね。
Dumpster
毎
doing
ターン一人落とされてる感じで
Devar's
すね。
well, this is the high attack
TP が持
spot
つ
as
の
well.
かな、こ
Devar
れ。
specializes on only physical attacks, so this could hurt, but it's lower HP, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I think it's manageable at this
41,
point. So,
yeah.
イビルアイだったから、
so one thing
コ
about this
ー
as well,
ド聞いてないから大丈夫か。
in
け
vanilla,
ど、一旦
Devar's
行動
has
停
a
止だった気
script
がす
where
る。
is if you hit him with a technique or a skill, he's going to counter on his turn with Disrupt Arm, which is an AoE physical attack. I got rid of that script. It's now he's got a 50% chance of using it. So have fun with that.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes it a lot trickier to manipulate that fight into what you want it to do.
Well, yeah, that's in the
う
vanilla.
ん、
In
ちょっと連
vanilla,
続、
that
全
is
体攻
such
撃で連続
a
されると
he's an
めんどく
easy
さいし
fight
ね。
because you can cheese him that way. You can force him into that loop and know how to counter it. I figured give it a little more challenge, let him do whatever he wants at that point. So the counter script is removed, and he just has it in his normal rotation.
と
The same
こ
thing
れ
goes
は
for
説明しないとダ
Saluz,
メか。
which is the other
まあ、
boss.
デミ
Whereas if
な
you
ん
hit
で
him
す
with
け
a
ど、ま
physical
あ、アンド
attack,
ロイドなんで、いわゆる回
he
復
ends up
テクニックと
Rika's
か、
gonna lose out on all that
回復の
experience.
道具とか
At
が
least this is in the later stages. I think it
通
was
常の、
there at
まあ、
I
人
saw
間
it was
に
at
効くものは
20 to 30 right there, so it won't
全
be
く
that big of a
効果が
discrepancy,
なくて、
thankfully.
自分でリカバーする
Sometimes you
か
can、just
あ
go
の、
right to the end.
リカバー用
and,
のアイテム
there's
が
the
Oh,
ice
there's the ice
digger.
あるん
digger.
ですけど、
Okay, so now
それを使うか
places opened up.
っていう
So the
And
only
also,
仕様になっ
oh,
て
go
ま
ahead.
す。
I was just going to highlight for that fight, it really showed with both Grizz having the Victor Axe and Rika having access to the Silver Tusk and the Guard Claw. The damage was ridiculous. Combined, they were pumping between 8 to 900 just between those two on its own. I saw Grizz critting for over 500 on one swing alone. So
And we also-
I'm worried if Dumpster doesn't go check that to know location, that actually could affect some of the time here.
Yes, Grizz excuse me, Grizz. Dumpster player, yeah, Dumpster, you are now Grizz. No.
アイスデッカーが手に入ったから、
By defeating the
Deserts
Devars in the
とか
Rappy Cave, he's got access to Allschlein. So you have to go into Zima and use it as an item, and you unlock the town, but you also unlock Birth Valley and the bio plant. So we'll see if this if whatever's in the bio plant is going to be worthwhile. But yeah, I'm scared for Dumpster right now, not doing that free Tono check. He's probably thinking that it was a, you know, you don't have to do it unless you need to, but that scares me a bit. Oh well. Makes it all more fun, right? And looks like Noob, yeah, he's gonna start making his loop around Dozoris, which means he can do his third incentive here, which is hello cat. One of my favorite ones. It's a free check. You just go, you talk to the big cat. Normally you get the silver tusk here, but you never know what you're gonna get. This game's like a box of chocolates, right? The only thing that's guaranteed is Demi's probably gonna die at some point. Oh, Graf, you're muted. Maybe you muted yourself. I don't know. I guess it's just me for a minute. So yeah, it looks like I'm getting my players mixed up already. Help me, chat. Dumpster's going into Biolab. A few treasures here. He's at a point now. He's probably got all the gear he wants except for a weapon for Grizz. So he's probably gonna check out a few things as well.
今、右側に出てる、まあ、猫っ
Mist
ぽ
Veil
い
gave us
や
our
つ
first
の
guard nail,
1の
and which is the
登
best
場
armor.
人
And
物
there's
で
three
は
people
登場
in
動
this
物って
party
いう
that
か、
can
まあ、
use
パーティー
Veil.
の一人ですね。
So, you know, it's one of those things I'd probably give to Rika right off the bat because she's a little bit weaker than the others at this stage. Normally, Rika levels up much faster. Let's see, what did Dumpster find there? The bioplant had the cyber suit. So the cyber suit is it's actually a usable item. It's armor for both Seth and Han, but it is the item in the game that casts barrier. And if you find that you don't have a character that can cast barrier, then the cyber suit will suffice. Barrier will increase the team's magic defense by whatever the strength of the caster is. So characters like Grizz or Ren are gonna give you bigger barriers than like Rune or Raja. Cybersuit is a fixed plus 48. So at certain points, the Cybersuit will work better than Barrier, but later in the game, Barrier is going to be your go-to if you have it. If not, Cybersuit will suffice, but you're going to have to mitigate a lot more with healing afterwards.
Yeah, for anybody that is seeing this and wondering, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. That Cybersuit, I always flag as a very high priority item to try to track down, because you can do some stuff about the physical stuff and abilities. It's a lot harder for the magic. And if you can find
や
that
っぱり
early on, you'll make a
場
difference
所
between your game one hit KO
にいる
to
ボスを倒さない
sub
と
10
ダ
to
メっ
1
ぽ
damage.
いかこ
Yeah,
れ
you're
は。エ
receiving
アキャス
instead
ル言っ
just
て
from
るから。
having that plus 48 to your magic defense.
どうなのかな
So it looks like Dumpster's going for Air Castle right off the bat. So in order
それっぽい
in
よう
order
な
to get
感
through
じ
Air
では
Castle,
あ
you
る
actually have
か。
to fight the mini boss first. As you can see, those barriers are blocking up access to the inner part of it. There's actually in vanilla 2 sets of barriers, but I removed the first set, to give you a little, so you don't have to take as long, because Air Castle is such a long dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Even without encounters.
And the looks like Noob Tree got the guard armor for Demi and Esper Mansion.
元ボスの場
Demi
所、
actually has
場
a
所
chance
の
of
方
living
か、やっ
now.
ぱり。
Yes, she does. And there was a guard mail in Mist Vale, so we got a couple guard items right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a we may be poking a little bit of fun at Demi, because Demi has a much harder time surviving. Oh, phone eraser down in the basement there as well. So that's getting Demi nice and ready to go. But yeah, no, it's such a stark difference between Demi and Ren based off of their stats. That Ren can survive everything. Demi, not so much.
Is this even randomized?
Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's
The triplets.
1 damage crit. I'm okay with this.
So the triplets, Graf, do you want to explain the triplets?
Yes, for the triplets, they are 3 separate activations. They will do their own
今、
thing
左側の方が
unless you
エア
hit
キャ
them
ッ
with
スル
an
の、
AoE attack. And then if you do hit them with an AoE
まあ、
attack, they
中
will
間の
hit
ボス
you.
なんですけど、
All
お
3
そ
of
ら
them will
く
spend an action to
出て
do
た
one
エアキャッスル
AoE
の
attack
クエスト
back
が
at you.
2種類あ
Which
るんですけども、
sounds kind
中
of
間の
scary,
ボ
but
スを
actually
倒
a
す
lot of
と、
times that's
最
what
深
you
部のボ
want,
スを倒せるんで
because
すけ
their
ど、
spells
最深部の
individually,
ラシーク
especially
は
some of the
別
single
の場所
target
で
ones,
出てきた
will
ので、
hit really hard
で、
and
これ
they
は
can
元の
start
場所
pounding on one
にい
person
る
and
か
taking
ら、
them
こ
out.
れを倒せ
But
の
if
方の
you
クエストで
force
す
them,
ね。
as we're seeing here right now, some AoE attacks, and we should see the attack here momentarily. It's just 1 attack, hits everybody. It hurt, but it's survivable, and that's the part that matters. And now with just some quick healing right there and just continuing to pile on the damage, I don't see why Dumpster can't complete this fight.
Yeah, they're very weak to the light elemental too, and this shouldn't be a bad fight. One thing about the Thunder Blast ability here is, and that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
One thing about it though, and this is what the vanilla speedrunners do, if you have the plasma field, you completely negate their attack for that character wearing it, because it's laser elemental. It says Thunder Blast on it, but it's laser elemental. And
パ
hey,
イ
we
ク
got
が
sync up now.
今、氷で一発で打ち
Yeah,
まし
no.
た。弱点なので。
It looks like Noob has a bit of an issue there. I did just realize though that I missed that. Did Noob go to weapon plant?
I did not see.
これは
I
僕も
assumed
見に行くか。
because that would make sense because it's
うん
right
クエス
there.
トには関係ない
Yes, he was
けど、
right
今
But he
倒
also
せば
got here
何かし
really
らのアイテ
quickly
ム
as
が手に
well, so
入
I'm
る
starting
の
to
で、
wonder if he didn't.
I don't
まあ
know.
も
But
とも
I
とラ
also
シーク
thought
が
that
いた場
he
所に
had
も行くみたい
rubric
ですね。
access, but I just remembered that Noob has not been to the basement, which is where the Eclipse Torch is.
Yes, so that's
That
this is
they
kind of going
both-
both ways right now. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out.
Both of them right now have 4 objectives. Excuse me, no. Dumpster has 4 objectives left to complete. He'll have 3 after completing this here. Noob has 3, and he'll have 2 after this. But the ones that he has left, he needs a Psycho Wand for, and he also needs the Eclipse Torch for. So he could be on a wild goose chase trying to find those 2 items. Where right now it looks like Dumpster still needs to find the Ice Digger, I believe.
I do
He has
believe
not
that
been
is
to,
correct.
yeah, he has not been to Courage Tower yet, which I
あ
don't blame
必
him.
要
I
な
don't
の
want to
か。
go
へ
there
え
either.
If there was a
エアキャッス
lesser
ル1個し
evil
かなかったように
between
見
the
たけど、
two,
2個目もあ
even
ったの。
though in the base game itself,
それとも、
it's
あ
Air
れかな、 ク
Castle
エスト
to
が
Soldier Temple
新部の
to
方だったの。
Rykros.
これ
Rykros is
たま
actually
た
not so bad,
ま、
but
あ
sometimes
れ
the Air
か、
Castle stuff in the randomizer
と
isn't
たま
horrible
た
as well.
ま
It's
そ
just
の
a
場にいる
long
ボス
walk,
が
especially
ラ
if
ン
you
ダ
have
ムで
to.
たまたま
Because
こ
as
こ
you
に出
know,
た
may
だ
have
けか
noticed,
も
when
しれ
fighting the
ないで
triplets,
す。
you didn't get an item.
両
But when we
方
get
か
down
どう
to the
か、
basement,
う
there's the
ん、
chest
スク
down
ショ
there.
取っておけば
It
よか
has
っ
an
た。クエストの。
incentivized item,
うん、
and then also the boss itself drops an incentivized item. So it's actually a 2-for-1 special down there. But you have to go through all this rigmarole just to go see it.
So now, at least to try and make up for the fact that this is a rather long dungeon, there are 2 items here. Apple Ate made a good point. Noob did not put. He's got the Diesel ring, which he got in the plate system.
覚えてるの
He
が
did
エア
not
キャッ
put
ス
it
ルとジオ
on
を倒すしかな
Grizz,
かったんで。
and Grizz has a natural weakness to ice. The Diesel ring will give him ice resistance. It gives anybody ice resistance that has it on. So usually, if you see that, it also gives mental stat, which Grizz strong. Grizz don't need mind. He doesn't need a brain. He just hits things. But we put the Diesel ring on Grizz most of the time just for that resistance. For the most part, for a couple bosses.
I had no idea Grizz
う
was
ん、
actually
進
weak to
行
ice.
的にどっちが勝ってる
Grizz
っていう
is
のは
weak
ちょ
to
っと
ice.
今
Raja is
言
weak to
いづら
fire.
いかな。
It's not, or Grizz without the Diesel ring really, I think, only hurts on the
アイテム
triplets
的
for
に
the
おそ
most
らく
part.
右の方が
Juza,
若
well,
干
Juza script
強い
doesn't
と
use
思われます。
ice anymore. But
さあ、誰が出るかな。
Raja can die very easily on Profound Darkness to Fire Breath if you don't have the motor ring on him.
Yes.
あ、
Ooh, Dark Force 3 down.
ダークフォル
97
ス
without
3番目ですね、これ
the
は。
Snow Crown up. That ain't too bad.
まあ、
Yeah, it didn't even seem like it was a crit, so it
通常だ
should be
と、なん
okay.
か、即死系の
And
魔法を
what
待った
did
一
he,
般
what
人
item did he
が
get out of
仲間について
It
き
was
て、
money.
苦しみ出し
It
て、
was
こ
just
の
money.
Yeah.
All
ダ
this
ーク
way
フォ
for
ルスに
money.
なるって
This is an
Yeah.
objective.
イ
though,
ベ
if
ン
he
トが
kinda
本
needs to
来
do
はある
it.
んですけども。
Yeah, I'm hoping that what else is hiding behind the boss will make it at least worth the trip to come here.
Right.
So let's see what else. I'm curious to see what the corrosion damage is in this because that's going to be tasty. It won't be as tasty as Soldier Temple. Oh, just missing Grizz. Okay, sure thing, game.
Yeah, it's like
ベイブレード
Grizz
は
is really
あ
fast
れ
now.
か、
Yep,
あれ
okay.
レベルが低いからまだ1回
Apple
しか
Lady with a
使えな
good
いの
note.
か。
Kira has Ataraxia now.
Yes, I actually did notice that earlier. So that actually makes things a lot easier as you go on. If you have a lot of people that want to use a lot of techniques
ツヤーしちゃっ
to
てし。
and start pulling from that pool, especially if someone gets a certain spell called Megid that costs 30 a pop to use, and it hits like a truck.
It's funny in some cases though. I've seen Nayfoy hit harder than Megid. I think it was against the Rappy King, but yeah, Ataraxia is an AoE. It's the only way to restore technique points other than an in or a healing pad in the game, and it's only usable in battle, so you can't use it outside of battle and heal up. That's cheating at that point. I don't edit things in this game to make cheaters out of all you know. So Ataraxia also will, if anyone's asleep, Ataraxia will also wake them up. And it
Did you make that change?
No, that was actually in the original. I did not make that change.
Huh. Okay, news to me.
It's just like, I believe if someone is asleep, if they're asleep, Ataraxia. If they're stunned, I think medical power awakens them up too. I don't
デ
remember. I
ッ
know
の
medical power
武器が
does,
右の
or
方
maybe
は
it's
ちょっと
I
強
don't
いです
remember
ね。
anymore. But yes, Ataraxia is the only way to recover the TP in game, and you basically they're going to gain technique points based on the caster's mental ability. So even though Grizz can learn it, it's not going to be as strong as like Kira having it. Although even Grizz, restoring 30 is still better than nothing in some cases, and especially if your only method of healing, like right now, Chaz is just going through Gisars like crazy. Ataraxia will help that out.
See, look,
ダメージ差でほぼ
So
追い
what
つい
was
ちゃ
the
いました。
difference right there of someone showed up about a minute later to the fight, but just by the fact of having more holy weapons, especially with Grizz
うー
swinging,
ん、
it
あ
did at the same
と
time. And I
大
did not see what the
体
item was
50
there.
分ぐらいか。
I don't think it was anything
Oh,
important.
I'm
I
watching
don't
the
see-
stream. It was a plasma launcher. Okay, so it's actually an
That's-
upgrade for Dumpster. I
確
think, 'cause
実
I
に終
think
わってるの
they,
が
they
エア
actually
キャッス
already
ル
grabbed the
と、あ
plasma
と、
launcher from the store,
ト
but it's
のボス
not
か
any good for Noob
の
Tree
2
because
個
of
で、あ
the
とどれが
phone
終わって
hunter
るかがわ
phone
から
hunter
ない
razor.
ですね。
So
ごめん
both
な
of
さい。
them, I think, are trying to figure out what to do next. Noob is just 2 objectives away, but he needs a Psycho Wand and he needs the
最高温度が
Eclipse
なん
Torch,
と
but
かっ
the
てまだ
Eclipse
言ってる
Torch
け
is in
ど、
the easiest
そんな
dungeon
とこあったっけ？
in the game, but he
ま
hasn't
あ、
been there
アイ
yet.
テムとして使うと何か
So,
の効果があ
and
ったはずな
is
んだ
he
け
going
ど、
to
ち
go
ょっと
there? It
覚え
looks
てない。
like Dumpster's going to Curran right now,
Mhm.
and which is not an objective, but Dumpster needs the Ice Digger and the Psycho Wand. So both of
あ
them
あ、あ
are
れ
two
か。
key items from finishing
ジオを
this.
倒せの方の
And
があるから、最高温度が
now,
ないとダ
okay,
メ
so
か。
Noob is going towards
戦闘の
Kiana
方
at
は
this point.
魔法の
So
ランプ
he
で
will get the
バリア
Eclipse
を解
Torch, and
解除
he'll
できる
be
けど、
in
おそら
Go mode at
く
this point.
Yeah, that was.
But no, he won't. He
塔
still
の
needs a Psycho Wand.
バリアを
Yeah,
解
that's still
解除する
missing.
には
Yeah,
最
at
高温度
least
が必要
having
なん
access to
だと思い
more
ます。
there will make it
ま
good.
あ、
So I don't think I recall seeing
もともとはそういう
people going
シ
to
ステム
the
になって
climate
るん
center
で。
yet as well.
Nope.
If they just kind of
Climate
skipped over it
Center.
and checked the easy stuff. Okay. And then potentially even that weapons plant was maybe skipped over as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that as well. Let's see, Apple Lady. I'm just looking. Apple, you've been my third set of eyes here. Did Noob go to weapon play? I didn't see it because you're right. It didn't seem like he went to Air Castle really quick.
Yeah.
So he's now. Did he just finish that? I blinked and yeah, he finished.
Oh
it.
yeah,
He's going
it was just slap and
now.
done.
So he's got the Eclipse Torch now. So he's probably gonna check the rest of Matavia to see if he can find the Psycho Wand.
Yeah, you might as well
And-
check in the locale before you go off world to just come back anyways.
Yeah, because you don't know where it is. You want to try and go to the quickest spots
Here.
possible.
All right, the same thing. Okay.
あ
So this should be a very quick fight
もう
with
変わって
being
ない
level 33
のか
because that's
か
already
変えられないの
equal
か
or
ちょっと
higher
わから
level
ない
than
です
what's
け
in
ど
the、speed
ま
run
あ、
already, and you're doing
ダ
the
ークファル
boss
ス
and
第
you're
一
fighting an hour
ですね。
15 into the game.
まあ、
So this and with a lot of good
もう
abilities and
3
equipment.
番目に出てくるダークファルスを倒してるんで、
And
そんなに強くはない
okay,
で
I
す。
was like, wait a second, my vision is weird. Is this even randomized? Come on,
Yeah,
Fred, where are you? Oh, wait, we're not blaming Fred for this one. Okay.
poor Fred.
Usually,
Always
if something's
explain.
not randomized, we blame Fred.
Burst rockets for
Um,
1. No, oh, actually, that burst rocket actually did some damage. That's actually not too bad. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So I love the Dark Force 1 fight mainly because, and this is going to be sad because Dumpster does not have the Victor Axe. The Grizz can hit anywhere up to 700 against Dark Force 1 because Dark Force 1 does have a weakness to the light
no.
element, but he's got a super weakness to the light
これは
element.
違うかな
So he
ラ
takes
ラ
nearly
ッ
double
ピーあっ
damage
たか
from
な
light element.
Oh, so good.
まあ、
Yes, it's like,
ランダムの中に
and
ラッピーを
seeing
倒す
all
っていう
that
の
is
も
just so
あ
delicious.
あるんで、もしかしたらあったのかもしれない。
So let's see what else is going on. So we got seen the Devars there on the right side. Oh, there goes. Yeah, there goes Dark Force 1. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what's hiding there. If there's anything tasty ready to go back there. Actually gained some levels. Nathu
Yes,
I saw
max-
for his pow
Max
shield.
damage Grand Cross on Dark Force 1. That would be that I have seen that happen.
Let's see.
What is this? Where is everything? Okay. So
Yeah.
Curran ended up being a dud.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case here. So we'll see where Dumpster decides to go next. Maybe, come on. Go
まあ、
yeah,
海を
you
渡
wanna
れる
go
乗り
there, go
物
get
があ
that
るん
axe.
で、
Yeah,
ダーク
go
フォ
get
ー、まあ、
that
ダークフォー
axe.
ス、
Yeah,
ダークファルス
buddy.
まあ、
There
ダーク
you
フォ
go.
英語版だと
I thought he was
ダー
going
ク
to
フォース
Soldier's
なんですけ
Temple.
ど、
I was crossing
Eh,
my fingers that
ご
someone
めんな
can
さ
go
い
to。Soldier's Temple.
ちょっと
at least
セン
we
シ
can
ティブな言葉
eliminate
なんで
some
言
very
えないんで
important
すけど、
parts
そ
for
そういう意
Soldier's
味に
Temple.
取られる
There's not a Zeo
言
there,
葉なんで、
and
フ
none
ァ
of
ル
the
ス
Dark
の方
Forces
は。
are there,
Nope, all
and
three Dark
Lashik is not
Forces
there.
and Lashik. So, but that leaves two of the scarier ones. That leaves Saluz and Refaze.
Yeah. And we're running out of bosses here to pull from that pool.
Yeah, so we still have Refaze and Saluz in the pool, and I'm trying to remember Juza's still in the pool too.
Yes, and I believe you made some adjustments to Juza actually not too long ago, if I recall correctly.
まあ、
Yes,
ファル
Force Slash deals a
フ
little
ァル
bit
ファ
more
ルスの方
damage.
で
He's
ごめん
not
なさい、言い
considered a
ますね。
major boss.
ダークファル
He
スさ
only
ん
uses
が
Force
出る、
Slash or Zan.
ダンジョンが、ダンジョンというか神殿っていうか、まあ、そのエアロプリズムが取れる場所が行けるはずなんですけど、そこには行かないな。
To be honest, if one of them go to Soldier's Island, who do you want? Would you rather see Rephase or Sa lose there?
At least with rephase, you know what you're going to get, and it's not a lot of mental gymnastics to figure out, can I survive and out heal the damage? If the answer is yes, yeah, not a big deal at all. However, for the other boss, you just don't know what's going to happen right now, because I believe for that one, you also removed the
アイス
script
レッカーはこ
for
こ
it,
にあ
so
ったのか。
they can just go bananas. It's like, I'm just going to triple legion you, and what
そ
are you
う、あ
going to do about
と、
it?
アイスレッカーで、まあ、いわゆる行ける隠しダンジョンにも右側が行ってないですね。あと、なんだっけ、トーチが、聖なるトーチがないと、雑魚が永遠と出てくる塔もあるんですけど、そこにも行ってないですね。
Did we say we had Moon Slasher?
Yes, I did see a Moon Slasher.
So Kira can do damage, Rika can do damage, and also, we do have Photon Eraser too. So actually dealing damage isn't going to be any problem because Victor Axe,
あと行ってない場
everybody
所どこ
has
だろ
a
う。
method of dealing light damage
ボ
with
ス
their
が
ultimate
出る
weapon.
場所
All
で。
the
ボ
ultimate
スが出
weapons in
る
the
と
game
か、あとはアイ
now
テム
deal
が
light-based damage.
ガツガツ
So
入る場所で
as
す
long
ね。
as you have that, you can deal damage to Rephase. The Sue line of techniques
まあ
or
今、
Ray Blade will also do it.
最高
or
温度を
Magic will also
どち
deal
らも
damage
探
to
している
Rephase,
状
but
況
that's
だ
the
と
only
思
way
い
you're
ま
going to
す。
do it. Yeah, Rephases should be fine if that's what the boss is.
And their HP, like can't even use my words anymore here. Like Demi is in a little bit of a scarier territory, but everyone else is not a super low HP character, so it probably would be very survivable. And we have not based off Cybersuit, and I don't know Rika's strength growth. I know it outshines 48, not too hard. So I imagine it's starting to get better and better at every level.
And it looks like Noob is going to Dezoris, so he's probably going to hit Garubek first, and then he still has
ジオの方が持ってるのかな、ひょっとすると。
Surprise, Zio.
It's Zio. So if Dumpster does Courage Tower after this, which is usually the natural
魔
order
法
of
の
things,
ラン
you're
プ
gonna
持ってき
do
てる
if you're going to right cross to do one tower, you're gonna do them both unless you have what you need from that first one. Garbage Tower.
ああ、ちゃんと持ってきてます
Goodbye,
ね。
stream quality.
ああで、右側が、まあ、先ほど言った
Yeah.
I'm looking at the
魔法
stream
のトー
too,
チ
and
が
it's like
ないと永遠と雑魚
yeah,
が出る
that's
塔
unfortunately
に
the
言ってましたけ
nature
ど、
of the
まあ、こ
the snow
の
effect.
ランダマイヤーだ
Those
とおそら
mist
く魔
rooms
法のトーチは
are
取らな
ouch.
ちょっと見てなかったんですけど、取らなくても入れるよう
Yeah,
に。
no. So we'll see where this one goes here. It's a bit of a climb.
Apple, I think Eclipse Torch, if I recall correctly, I think it does holy damage and not light damage. It's actually two different elements, which is very, very odd. One way I remember about holy elements, which the only two spells for holy are Ephes and Saint Fire. Think of him like, I don't know, probably a lot of people play D&D,
あ
but
の聖なる
normally
トー
if
チの話をして
you're
ま
just
す。
taking on a magical creature, basically, excuse me, holy is not going to do anything damage against anything that's not considered evil. So if it's like an animal or something that you find in Batavia, it's probably not going to hurt. If you're trying to fight a machine, machines in my mind can't be inherently evil, so it's not going to damage them either. But anything else, it's holy element's very powerful.
Yes. Yeah, those holy element abilities, it tends to be either I'm doing all the damage or I'm doing one damage. There's very rarely any in between.
Yep, that I remember growing up and using Grand Cross on some random enemies and dealing one damage.
Yes.
Strongest combination, or one of the strongest combination spells in the game, one damage. All right, so Dumpster got through Strength Tower. He's gonna heal and then go. With any luck, he is going to silent. Yep, he's going to go to Courage now.
Yep. So let's take a look see and see what we got at the top here of Garbage Tower. Because we're just a few rooms away for that. Oh wait. Oh, I was trying to pick up what some of the stats were or skills for Kira.
左がちょっとアイスデッカーどこにあったのかが。ここかな。
Yeah, Paladin Blow is actually really good too. As far as I don't remember what element it does though. I think it's light, but it's the combination between Rayblade and Astral.
Okay.
And it does quite a bit of damage too, especially if you can.
Rappy.
All right, we have the real King of Terrors. I is it Dumpster's music that's being captured right now, or his sound? I believe it's Dumpster's that's being captured. So you unfortunately can't hear the boss music of this. It's actually I kind of did that as a joke. Major bosses will either have King of Terrors or Laughter as their boss track.
Sorry, continue.
And King Rappy I put as King of Terrors because the King Rappy is the King of Terrors, to be honest.
And I just happened to know, I thought I caught it during the checking of the status screen earlier, but I confirmed it here now that Kira actually did get Medjed, which is good because you get Medjed. It's not as good because Kira also holds Ataraxia. So you're either recharging TP or you're casting Medjed. You can't get best of both worlds in this case here.
Yep.
But having that as an option will be really good because it didn't look like Kira got access to Vortex. So that will make a fantastic choice if she doesn't have to use her TP for healing to just start pumping in the damage later on down the road.
And King Rappy at this slot is a bit stronger, but I think at this point Noob is finding himself quite overpowered for it. So King Rappy's not he's missing all of his physical attacks. Earthquake is still doing a little bit, but it's being mitigated very well. So there's really no real damage for King Rappy.
Yep, no, I saw going in, let's say it was level 37, I believe. So we're starting to get up there in the levels, and the way things are going, I would not be surprised if we see some of the characters starting to climb into the 40s as well. And that's kind of the how this randomizer goes, similar to, I think, several as well, where you find everything you need very early, and you can start going into the last dungeon at a relatively low level, or you spend a little bit more time, and you find everything, you have higher levels, and you're not as worried. I'm not going to say that you're not scared of the last boss, because you always should be, but there's less that you have to worry about.
Yeah, I haven't made any changes to the final boss, so all the debuff spells that you have will not work on the final boss still, so I can't give the other game for free now, can I?
No, hey, same fire as well there.
復活魔法がチャズとあとラジャーしか使えなかったんだったかな。ちょっと覚えてないですけど。このパーティーだとチャズしか使えない状況みたいですね。で、まあデミはリペアキットで落ちた時も回復、戦闘中は回復できて、戦闘が終了するとヒットポイント1で復活して、歩いてる1本ごとに HP1 ずつ回復します。
Yes, having access to that many more checks right now is huge, especially with having the Eclipse Torch already. We'll be able to just, I would take a guess at just start doing a clean sweep and just start doing the lap around the entire world and just check everything just to find what you're looking for.
Yes, and so you cannot get into Anger Tower unless you have the Alcidian. So even if you don't have Chaz in your party, you can still get it. So one thing worth noting, if you don't have a certain character in the game, you're not going to get weapons for them. Except in the case of both Psycho 1 and the Alcidian. So say you don't have Rika in your party, there's going to be no shops and no chests that have claws. So it basically means that anything that you pick up or find will have some value, unless titanium, but will have some value to somebody in your party. It's not going to be like, nobody can use this. Why is it here? Why do I have an axe when Grizz is not in my party? Oh, and Anger Tower's boss is the Ooze.
Yep. And I think that was actually a really nice addition, just to elaborate on what you were mentioning there a moment ago, of making sure that you only find stuff that your party can use, made it a lot easier to go through this and know that you're not just going to get crud, for lack of a better... guard mail. Okay, or guard mail.
And Apple Lady does make a good point. Yes, there are a couple exception sets. Thunderclaw, even if you don't have Rika in the party, you can still get in an item shop. So the weapons that can actually cast magic, Laconia Rod, Flame Sword, Tornado Dagger, Thunderclaw, Guard Rod, no matter if they're that the character can use it, whether they're in your party or not, you could still have access to them in some
まだ
form.
最高温度が
Guard
ど
rod
ち
is
らも
guaranteed.
出
There's
て
at
ないっ
least
ぽいか。
guaranteed to get one guard rod in a game
あ
because
あ、
it is
聖
an
なる方、ちゃんと
incentivized
使ってる
treasure.
な。
Ooh, and it looks like dumpster
あ、
would
聖
go
なる
great in the
トーチで
garbage
す。
tower.
Yep,
Hold on,
just
Jenna.
get that out of the way. And yeah, 'cause that means he skipped over Climate Center as well.
Yeah, he skipped over Climate Center.
Okay.
He did do. I believe he. I think I blinked again. I think did he do Mist Vale?
Yes.
I'm
yes.
pretty sure. Okay, so really at this point, and now, so basically both of them are on equal terms for the most part. They're both hunting for that Psycho Wand.
Yep, I believe that is indeed the case
さ
here.
て、
'cause
最
that-
高
yeah,
温
that's
度は
gonna
ど
be
こに
a
ある
big
んだ？
difference right there to see what's hiding down in that basement.
But I'm pretty sure Dumpster's gonna be happy to see the Rappy King here.
この塔にも
And
な
also,
かっ
I
たんだ
believe
よ
it
な、
was
おそら
Dark
く。
Force 1 that was
右側が
suppressed
探してる
here
か
as well,
ら。
because I was like, oh, is this even randomized? Ha.
Yes, yeah, there was 2 bosses so far that were in their original locations,
So
and Dark
at-
Force 1 was one of them.
So I'm trying to think what other, and the thing is Dumpster gonna make
あと行ってない
once he
のは、
gets
まあ、
the
か
obsidian from
ス
the
トーリ
Rappy
ーで
King
行け
here,
るところ
is
は
he
ほぼ
going
回っ
to go
て
to
る
Anchor
は
Tower
ず
or
な
is
ん
he
で、
going to finish
行
up
け
the
な、
Zorus?
行ってないのは隠しダンジョン
We
系ですね
don't。know what's in
まあ、
Climate
最初
Center.
の
We
星
don't
だ
know
と
what's in Weapon Plant
海
right
の
now.
海を
Yeah,
渡る、
if
まあ、
I'm
And
hoping
Weapon Plant
Dumpster
is
乗り
based on
物
the
が
planet
手に入
because
るまで
those checks are
本来
really
は手に
quick,
入らないけど
especially
最
with
初から持ってる
what
んで
level
行ける
and
ことは行
what
ける
level
っていう
of gear
形ですけど
everybody is at right
一
now.
箇所は行って
To
たっ
check
けか
everything on this planet, just clean sweep, get it out of the way, then consider your option for going to Anchor Tower after that. Because that's a lot of time just trying to
デゾリス
travel
の
to the
隠しダン
town
ジョン
and
は行
then
ってな
going
いのは
to
確
the
実です
spaceport,
ね。
go do the animation for getting there.
Yes, and
まあちょっとデゾリスの隠しダンジョン
and Climate
結構
Center,
遠い
it's a
ところ
quick
にあるんで
dungeon.
行きづらいって言ったら
There's
行き
two
づら
mini
いんですけ
bosses
ど
in it, and it's not difficult at all to do. But sometimes you don't want to have to fight unless you have to, because time. We're racing here. We got to go fast.
Exactly.
All these bosses look the same to you. That's okay. When you start running the randomizer, as long as we have, they start to blend together too. It's like Rappy Force. I should totally make Rappy Force for Dark Rappy. There we go.
Oh, jeez, that Dark Force
Yeah.
1 got demolished.
うん
Rappy with Shadow Breath. That'd be funny.
あちなみになんかカルガル使ってるメニドですけど、
Don't
いわ
worry.
ゆ
That
るラン
requires.
ダマイザーじゃない
I
普通バージョ
can't
ンだと
give
手に
some
入れるのは
enemies
結構
some
めんどくさいで
skills
す。
because of the way the animations work in this game,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of the coding in this is very tricky. So there's limitations on what I can and can't do, and there's some things that if I can do them, oh, I'm gonna have so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
But
So now, Nutri's going back to Dezolis, so I'm hoping. Okay, I think now going over to the weapon plant that was skipped over earlier, and if
右は、
just the way
う
things
ん
have gone right
隠
now
し
with
ダン
New.
ジョ
Oh
ン
no,
に
actually both
行
did
く
air
っぽい
castle.
ですね。
I was just
Yep.
thinking for some reason that Nutri didn't do it for some reason, but this place was the crux of the conversation of wait, how did he get here so quickly?
yep. So, basically, both are still hunting for Psycho Wand, which there's still Soldier's Temple available too, as well as Climate Center, and I believe those are the only checks left that they haven't done. They still need the Psycho Wand, and of course Nervous, which you need the Psycho Wand to get into, which isn't really a check as it is their final objective. They both have 7 of the 8 objectives. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah,
And the item is in the Burst Rock chest, and there it is. There's the Psycho
okay.
うん最高温度ありましたね。
So that means that's a complete skip of Soldier Temple. So that
これ
makes
で、
life a lot easier right now.
ジオを倒せば
I'm sad. I want to see
クリア
Soldier's
できます。
Temple.
まあ、ジオ
Maybe
自体はもう
visuals don't hit it.
倒してるんですけど、
Yeah, I
いわゆ
want to
る
see just based off the known information right
その
now.
場所に出てくるボスを倒さなければい
That
けな
means
いっぽ
this
い、
is the
いけ
last
ないみ
objective
たいな
for
ので、
Nutri to do, I believe.
これから塔の
Yes,
か
and
え
Nervous,
最高温度
especially
で
at this
入
level,
れ
is
る
going to
方
be
に
easy
行き
enough.
ますね。右側
He's at level 41. I love it. Get on the hydrofoil to go 5 steps. I do that all the time.
That 6 square walk I think you have to do there on a hydrofoil.
I do it all the
Chef
time.
なんか
Like, It's
Honke
quicker to walk
解説が
there than it is
笑いで
to
盛り上がってる。
go into the menu, get the hydrofoil, press OK, and then move 6 steps.
And then the best part
I-
was it was so fast they completely overshot. It landed in the quicksand.
I love the hydrofoil. It's fast, but sometimes it's too fast. But it's so much fun.
Doesn't matter.
ちょっと並びかけてだけど、まあ
Everybody looks
また
drunk when
右
they're
が
driving it because it's just going
先
too
行してる
fast.
形に今なって
All
ま
right,
すね。
so Dumpster now has the Alcidian, and he is not warping to Tyler. He is making a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so he's gonna start doing his check,
Yep. So this is kind
So
of
is
what I
he
was mentioning earlier.
and looks like he's
Oh.
not doing Esper. Where is he? He's going to Jot.
So
Getting the teleport
just
point.
okay. I was about to say if skipping two checks right there, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like I mean, although to be fair, it's a bit of a walk for Esper Mansion to get into the Sacred Sword Cave and do that check. He might be thinking that Gumbius is going to be a quicker check, so let's go ahead and check that out. And he's going back to Gumbius, so it probably looks like the next check he's going to do. He's going to Weapon Plant.
さて誰が出
Yeah,
る
no, at this stage, there's no real reason to go into the town.
えー
and
まあ
the boss
最初の
of
方から言ってる
the boss of Nervous.
塔のボスだったか
Well,
な
I'm,
これ
I'm
は。
very nervous now because this could be pain.
Yeah,
Well-
although it's to be fair, he's at 41, and this is Zio's spot normally. It's
Okay,
Medjol was
never mind.
it's
Ma-
mid-game.
Never mind.
Rephase
Mm.
has one attack, and it's
さ
Medjol.
すがに元のステータスではない
That spot is no real danger, and everybody's got a weapon or some means to deal damage to it.
Yeah, so this should
So-
be a quick fight.
うん
Yep, and so it's
Main move.
already done. Everyone gets another level. So 42. If you hundo these
これでジオを倒せ
the
る
seed,
な
the seed,
No,
then, or any seed, you'll
Crystal
probably be
Award
around
ですね。
45 by the time you're done. As long as no one else dies, and Dumpster now happy with his cycle wand. So
There
he's
we
in
go.
go mode
あ
now.
全
So
部
we're in the final
今
stretch.
ラスダンに入ったんで全部終わったみたいです。
Speaking
こ
of
れで
stream quality,
And
we have the edge.
this got slammed
あ
up
れ
into
レ
the
ベル
dumpster
今
now.
いくらぐらいだっけ ?40 はいってるっけ
So Dumpster's gonna make his
普通に
run
プレイする
to
と
Nervous and
45
finish
ぐらい
that
で
up,
倒せ
and
るか
Noob
ら
is just
いける
beelining
か。
right there. He's confident that he's got everything he needs, enough healing, enough and enough damage to do. He's got
You have enough. That is the baseline. That's the little checkboxes you have to think of. Can I survive certain attacks, especially in phase 3? Do I have the damage and the type of weapons that I need?
あ、
Do I
元場
have
所になるのか、
everything
パラメ
known?
ーターは
So
確
this
か
is
に。
actually, to me, going to be prime time. Going back to the macro conversation, actually, you're going to want to make some macros for this fight because there's a lot of things to account for, and you do not want to forget something or fat finger something here. Because it just takes one wrong move, and you could be back at the intro screen again.
Yeah, and thankfully one of the features of this is I've enabled the ability to save anywhere, so that you're welcome. That's all I'm
Yes.
saying. You're welcome.
That was huge. Be able to save everywhere. I am incredibly spoiled by it.
Me too. And this is why I don't speedrun vanilla anymore. Actually, no, that's not the only reason I don't. The other reason
あ
is
40ちょっと超えてるから、
I
そ
love the
れ
game.
ほ
I
どは
don't love
苦戦し
speedrunning
ない
vanilla anymore.
ちょっと
for
きついぐ
sure.
らいかな、
It's
レベル的に
painful.
は。45
Yeah,
あれ
it's,
ば普通に
it's a
倒せる
trip
ん
to
で。
say the least.
It's
まあ、
a
バストロッ
good
クとかは
RPG
取っ
to
て
watch.
ないけ
It's
ど、
just
メギド
so
はある
I
から、
like I said, I've dug into the disassembly. I've seen the calculations
Mm.
and how much
スレイが
RNG
いないから
plays
グラン
into
ド
these
クロスが使え
calculations,
ないか
and
と。ダメージ的に。
it's insane. And the people who can speedrun this game vanilla do an amazing job, and hats off to them for this. But I'm like, I will take randomizer any day at this point. Not because I wrote it, but it's just because it feels a lot more friendlier to me. And there is an option as well, because if anyone's looked at these technique names here, they sometimes may not make sense. So for anybody who hasn't played a Phantasy Star game, there's also an option to quote unquote kind of normalize the technique and skill abilities. So instead of like Watt is the ice ability in the game.
で、
It's just now
ラスボス戦ですが、3
um,
形態ありま
things
す。
like that to make it a little more friendly for those who
Yeah.
haven't played the series. And so Dumpster is now on his way to the edge, and now we have Profound Darkness.
Yep, good old phase 1. So this fight is broken up into 3 phases. The first phase, the easy phase, is pure single target damage. So it gives you time to get yourself buffed up and ready to go, because your buffs do carry over from phase to phase. Phase 2, the rude phase, where it's a lot of AoE attacks with some single targets, and then phase 3 is just rude, period. Because Medjed is a thing, and canceling is a thing.
Phase 1 can be rude too if it outturns everybody and it hits your barrier caster with Shadow Breath and kills them. I've had that happen.
That is an option,
Shadow...
but thankfully, in this case, Rika is the lucky target, and she is nimble.
Yeah, Rika's one of the fastest characters in the game, and she's a little bit slower in Randomizer, not because of her stats, because everybody's stats in here are meant to be as close to vanilla as possible. Especially when you initialize the characters, because a lot of the characters you get in vanilla, they don't start at level 1. Well, in Randomizer, as long as you initialize the character, everybody starts at level 1. So I've had to create formulas for that, which is why Kira only has 7 HP to start. But they're close. But because Rika doesn't gain levels faster than everybody else, her stats actually are a bit lower comparatively to everybody else's stat at the same level.
This is so tasty, seeing all these physical attacks and having access to vision. So, oh wow, that's shocking. A lot of damage.
まあ、巻いた時間で終わりそうな感じですね。
Oh, another gate. Oh god, that tickles still. So,
左
to give
側
perspective,
がちょ
again,
っ
this is with
と
characters
レ
that are
ベル
more or
が
less
低い
equipped with a
か。
lot of the top end gear that have been modified to make them even better. And Profound Darkness will still almost one-hit KO people when they're in the around 40 range for her levels.
まあ40でも倒せなくはない
Kira
から
might
な。
have the plasma field on because she only took
Yeah.
1 damage from that shot. So, and that is a wonderful thing until phase 3 when canceling hits.
So, for those, and
で
speaking of which, that's
最
going
終
to be
段
coming up
階
here
ですね、
momentarily.
右側は。
Canceling is an ability that removes all buffs and debuffs, I believe, but mostly it's the buffs you worry about. But unfortunately, the plasma field and its ability to absorb energy attacks and reduce it to 1, that kind of goes away as well. So that turns into a problem.
Yeah, and turn 1 always goes with Medjed, and it still hurts. This is where macroing is going to be very important, and looks like Kira's got Naysar, so that should make use of everything. Naysar is an AoE heal, but it does not affect androids, so Ren or Demi will not, they have to heal themselves, basically.
2度連発されると結構めんどくさいんです
Chad, Grizz, and Rika just all swinging for the fences right now.
なんとかは
They're
なり
doing,
そう
looks
か。
like combined close to about 1,200 damage every activation they get. They'll be doing just fine. And then there's the free turn right there. So this is all damage time.
Yeah, so one of the benefits of having an android, or Seth, is complete immunity to sleep and stun. So Evil Eye, which puts the target to sleep, is completely useless on Demi. So that's a free turn. The only scary thing that could happen right now, dealing about 1,200 damage per turn basically is going to mean it's going to take like 10 turns to down her. Profound Darkness has canceling though, and canceling will, if it's followed by Medjed before you can get barrier up, even at this level, you could lose a few characters. At this level, you're pretty safe for the most part, especially with gear, but if it kills the wrong characters, you could be in deep trouble. You might not be able to recover from it.
Yeah, this is a fight that usually when the death spiral starts, you have to rectify it within 1 turn. If you don't, you're probably going to be losing more and more and more as you go. Or you're a certain speedrunner that has 1 character alive and lands the killing blow.
With 1 HP.
Yes.
with 1 HP. So we got Dumpster in the fight now, and you can see their order setups a little bit. So single targets on enemies work. The character in front is more likely to take the hit than people further back. So if you want to position your characters
終わりですね。
further
いろい
back,
ろ
and that's time for Noob Tree.
That's a 125-20.
Yes, that was a GG there, and we're probably talking another 5 to 10 minutes for Dumpster at this point. As long as did Noob even get a canceling there?
Nope, there was no canceling there, so that was as clean as a fight you can get. You got the Evil Eye on Demi, you got some single target attacks that did not kill anybody. Yeah, no, you kind of got what you wanted out of that fight.
Yes, and do we want to bring Noob up, or do we want to wait for Dumpster?
スタッフロー
Maybe
ル
we'll
が
give
終
a
わ
few
る
minutes
ま
because I
で
don't think the
か
fight will
な
take that long here, and then we kind of get the
左側がまあまだ終わってな
And
い
there
っ
both
ちゃ終わってない
Dumpster,
か
Noob, and Apple Lady as my as testers. Hey, Griff, you're credited too.
who the heck was that ugly guy in
ね
there?
ちょっ
Jeez.
とストップのタイミングが分かってない
Blame the creator.
We have to
海外では大体ラスボスを倒したところ
Shout
が
out to the
終わり
Fantasy
っていう
Star
の
friends and
が
also
多
to
い
the
ですけ
RPG
どね。
Valkyries.
名前の下に止まった時間書いてますね。右側の方。
And then we got a bunch of names which I actually do not. Just wait until the later credits when it's just a bunch of random letters because I'm too lazy to actually fix credits beyond the Valkyries. After that, it's like no.
ヌーブツリーさんが1時間25分28秒って書いてますね。
We'll just put that up. So Dumpster's on phase 2 now, and oddly enough, another gate actually has a higher base damage than Medjed.
Wait a second. Chaz is swinging the guard sword. Did he equip his
He
sword?
has the Obsidian, he didn't equip it.
Oh no! It's not a game breaker, but it's a difference of maybe down to like, hitting for 66% as hard as what it can hit for.
Yeah, it's it hits the damage calculation is a little bit different with the Obsidian because it's light elemental. Unless Chaz has barrier, I don't know if Chaz had barrier, then that could help because you get extra strength from the guard sword. So you end up with a stronger barrier.
Yep, that is true. So I did see someone using the POW shield earlier to buff up their attack power, but I didn't quite catch who it was earlier.
So one thing, so barrier is based off of the caster's strength. So power shield thankfully doesn't raise strength; it actually raises attack power. But or
左
when used
側
as an
が
item.
あれ
But
か
if you have
ス
it
ター
equipped,
トマ
it
イザー
gives
買い
away
込んでた
plus
のは
10 strength, I believe.
多分
10.
全体大
Either way,
回
if you
復
double
の
up
テ
on
クニックが
power
ない
shield, you get a
か
plus
っ
20
たから
barrier
かな。
on addition to what your strength is. So you got a lot going for you at that point.
Yeah, things will
あと
be
はチャズの武
looking
器が
awesome
ちょっ
for you,
と
especially
弱いみた
in
い
good
で
old
すね。
phase 3. Let's see what we get for a ride here. So everyone buckle up. The old Medjed. Let's see the Medjed recovery macro, and then who knows what
い
we're
や、
gonna
な
get
し
next.
なしはあるか。
Yes,
保
let's
険
hope
かな
for
スタート買い
let's hope
込んで
for
たの。
no canceling Medjed
Yeah.
here because that's
Oh no, no.
ああ、
no,
キャンセリング
no,
が
no.
デバフ
Alright,
が
where's the
pray
buff
emote you
macro?
have.
剥がされ
Okay,
ちゃ
we're
いま
good.
した。
Barrier went up. That's all that matters.
Anytime you see anytime you see canceling, you
Bafuka.
want to anybody in chat has to do a pray emote of some sort or something.
で、左の
Oh,
Must have missed something there, but it looks like yeah, an all attack round. It looks like.
all right. And
Oh, it must have been okay.
Yeah, there we go. There's the pray emote that we're looking for. Let Noob know. We'll bring him
タ
in
イ
in a minute.
マー
So
は
we'll
ま
bring
だ
them
動
both
いて
in
る
for
か
a
ら、
quick
左が終わったら
post-game
ス
chat.
トップかな。
Post game chat, not post game Chaz. We
No,
we don't
we
need
don't.
that.
We don't want that.
There's only one person I know that actually likes Chaz, and that's Bowie.
Bowie.
Everyone else is like, oh, come on, Chaz. Yeah, exactly. That's why Bowie's got that emote.
Chaz was napping on the job.
寝ちゃ
man.
いましたね。
Yep, of course.
いやー
So Ataraxia should cure that right up. If he doesn't have someone with the arouse ability.
I think that's what's being looked for there first. There. No, looks like just waiting it out. But I guess with Chaz not having a light element weapon equipped right now, it may not be horrible. Just kind of let him nap for a little bit and hopefully wake up, and let everyone else just continue to do damage.
The odds of waking up are based on the person's mental stats. So the higher it is, the more likely it is, one, that they won't get hit by it, but two, if they do get hit by it, that they'll wake up the following turn. Chaz isn't known for having mental. He's got more than Grizz.
There he goes. Wake up.
Hey, he wakes up. One thing about sleep or paralyze or death stats, you lose your Sanner buff at that point. So if you have a speed buff, if you die or are put to sleep, you lose it. You keep any other buff you have. So if you have barrier to ban or even a shift with
また
increase
キャンセ
of
リングが来ちゃった。
attack,
Two.
you'll keep that throughout that, but you will lose Sanner, and the reason is because it is it's how turn order works. So when you are put to sleep, it sets your speed to 0 so that they make sure you don't attack or have any turn. And when you're restored, it doesn't know what you had originally, so it just puts you at the character's base speed. Everything else is okay though. It's just speed.
Yeah. And that enters into a fun decision aspect of the game of, oh, that person died and they lost their speed. Do I care? If it's someone that's just meant like Chaz, who's just going to be there and just swinging all the time,
ちょっと
that's
TP
okay.
がきつい
But if
な
it's。anyone that's part of your macros for healing, that's a problem, and you need to rectify that right away.
Yeah, and
Ah,
yeah, because
there we
倒
go.
せましたね。
Dumpster as well.
125. GG's.
Oh, GG's indeed. That
う
was a
ん、
good
タ
scene.
イ
That
マ
was a fun
ー
race.
止まりましたね。
Yeah,
やっぱりラス
that
ボ
one
ス倒
definitely
した
went
ところ
places
で
for
ス
sure.
ト
And
ッ
I was
プみた
actually
いです
very
ね。
happy to see that both players were in the Profound Darkness fight at the same time.
あ
So
あ
I mean, it wasn't
あれですね、小さい
necessarily a
タイ
clear
マーが
blow
あり
out
ま
of
した
one
ね。
person
よ
just
く見
made
た
the
ら。
wrong decision
今
and went
今
somewhere.
更気づいた。
They got there at very close to each other.
Yeah, and that
GG
can
とい
also
うこ
show
と
what
で。まあちょっ
finding the
と
right weapon
分かって
can
ない
do.
部分が多すぎ
Because
て
Noob
解
had
説になって
the
たか
defeat
どうかはちょっ
to
と
the
自信
Victor
ないん
X
で
like
すけど。
really early. So, but
Yep.
hey, we got a few minutes. Why don't we bring them on in? At least we can try.
Hopefully, maybe. See what's up. Actually, I don't think it's been done here. I don't know if links are possible to post, but I could post a link to the website for the randomizer for anyone that's interested.
時間に余裕があるからさすがにスタッフロールは全部
You know what?
流
You
すっ
can
ぽ
work
いな。
hard on all this. It's the least that I can do here.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I heard the bubblings and Dumpster's muted. Dumpster, don't mute yourself. Thank you. Good game, both of you.
GG's.
Dumpster. How close were you, man?
You guys were 6 minutes and 5 seconds difference. One Noob was at the end in phase 3 when Dumpster was entering phase 1 of Profound Darkness.
That's
Yeah.
dude, great race, man.
Shouldn't have gone to Quran. I always fade Quran, and then I was like, it's gonna be mean, and it's gonna be Quran.
I was so sad neither of you went to Soldier's Island, though.
It was on my list at the very bottom of the list, but it was definitely on my list.
Soldier's Island's on the bottom of everybody's list because, I believe Apple Lady, who's the one that vetted this seed, said that Saluz was waiting there.
Oh,
and I don't
yeah.
think there was
Hooray.
anything important there either. But we just wanted to see Saluz just Legion, both of you.
I was
I'm
tempted
not being sadistic at all, but
because at that point I didn't have the Obsidian, so I was thinking if I have to go to Rycross and then come back, it would be bad. So go to
we noticed
Soldier's
you didn't
Temple.
equip the Obsidian either.
No, because the guard sword gives 10 strength, and Chaz was my barrier caster.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
So it gives 10 magic defense to everyone, basically.
Yeah, it was back and forth quite a bit between the two of you. Dumpster, you went to Piata early and got the Eclipse Torch, and then Noob was kind of scrambling a little bit for it, and then found it when he finally went to Piata. But the one thing I noticed is Noob hit Tono early and got to the Victor Axe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was able to take down some of those bosses earlier, and it was like, oh, Dumpster.
Yeah, I like fading Tono because it just takes quite long for the early checks. It's a free check, but it's one of the longest checks on Matavia.
Yeah,
like,
and if you don't have a
fading.
telepipe or something, you're walking back, so you need that. And I had the spoiler log in front of me, and I saw a Noob go to Gumbius early on, and he didn't go to Weapon Plant, which is where the Cycle 1 was. I'm like,
はい、お
ありましたね。
疲れ様でした。
anybody, but that's where it was. And then he goes to Gruber. I think he goes back
聞こえてますか？
I do current or
Hi.
I don't remember what it was.
はい、
Oh,
お
we get
疲れ
no, we
様
get
で
the
し
Obsidian
た。
お疲れ様
Anchor
でした。
Tower from there, and I'm like,
ありがとうござい
there's
ま
a
す。
second chance they
はい。
なんか告知
I
等あ
was
ります
actually
かね？
wondering
あ、いや、特に
if
は
that
ないです
あ、
specific
ね。
ないです
did
か。
they go
は
to
い。
the weapon
わか
plans?
り
Like,
ま
okay.
した。
で
And
は、
あ
I
り
think
がとう
この
ござい
まま
ました。
切断
everyone's
し
gonna
ます
play
ので。
along
あ、
here.
そうですね。一
Regarding
旦
Vorpal
ちょっと
Grind,
処理し
so
ますの
Vorpal
で、
Grind
次
is
の
it's
ゲーム
a lot
の、
more RNG
あ
heavy
れ、ま
because
あ、
you
ま
have
だ、
to reset
あれ
some
ですね。
events.
本家の方お話し
But
され
if there
て
isn't
ま
a
すけ
like
ど、
that's
まあいいです
probably
か
the
ね。
meanest fight that
そう
could go a mile.
ちょっと英語がわからないんで、
Vorpal Grind
解
does
説、
because
そ
I'll
の辺
be
の
there
解
for
説は全
12
くできない
15.
な。
わかりま
So
した。じゃあ、
I need it
次
explode.
の
I
ゲー
didn't
ム
know
の
it was
準
gonna
備もある
explode
ので、
from
ちょっ
like
と、
Yeah, next
ミュ
to
ート
that
に
was
してお待ちいただいていいですか？
no, he
あ、わかり
found
ました。
the Thunder
はい。
Claws being sold there. He grabbed 3 of them and went Vorpal grinding
はい、あり
after.
がとうございます。では、
Yeah,
司会の
I
方、
That
こっ
was
そり
did
交
too
代
well
して
on
ま
the
したが、
slime
次のゲー
grind,
ム
so I
の
was like, you
準
know
備
what? Nah, I'm just gonna go
に
to Tommy
入り
or
ます。少
Tomo
々お待ち
and
くだ
that
さい。
up.
And yes,
that was
thank you for showing off Vorpal grind. That is Apple Lady's big big discovery that
Huge
changed the
discovery.
meta pretty much.
Uh,
But
yeah, it was early on. I felt like I was super far behind, and then I hit. I think when I started feeling comfortable was when I hit Tower of Courage and found the Ice Digger. I was like, oh yay! And it felt like the seat opened up from there, and it was fun, and my hands were shaky, and I was like, oh no, I'm falling behind.
Actually, you found that ice digger first, I believe, and that made a very large difference. And it was funny seeing because you went through all of that, and Dumpster actually started doing Air Castle, and then you went to Jut and all that, and then you left and then just went to the Air Castle. Did he go to the weapon plant? Oh well, no big deal. Okay, but then both of you were going through the Air Castle, but it was the fact that you've already did all that cleanup already, and then you went after you did Garbage Tower to finally pick up the Psycho Wand there. That was, I think, a very big difference right there between what happened between the two of you.
Because the air castle is a key objective, like you have to go there. So if the air castle has the ice digger, then it's just a free EV check basically.
Yeah, and it's
all right, so we're
two
gonna have
fans
to.
there.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to wind this up here in in just a second. I did want to say good game for everybody. Definitely a lot of fun, and we were hyped the entire time. Anybody got any quick shout outs before we head out?
Dumpster, if you want to go first, feel free.
No, just thanks for the games and thanks Lady Starbird for creating the randomizer and the commentators.
Yes, thank you very much for all the hard work you've been putting into this for us to enjoy for quite a while now, actually, when I think about it now.
Yeah,
I think I first came out
definitely.
last August is when I worked on it. But anyways, if we can put another link in the chat for anyone who is interested in this, I do have another update coming out soon. More stuff I'm adding in, trying to all the time whenever my brain allows me to. Other than that, I thank both of the runners. Gref, thank you so much for being here for this. And we have another randomizer coming up with the game that Phantasy Star 4 inspired, Final Fantasy. No, wait, that's not right. Final Fantasy randomizer race as well. So if you love your randomizers, you're going to love this race coming up. So stay tuned, and I hope all of you have yourselves a good rest of your day. Take care, everyone.
You too. Thanks
Bye.
everybody for setting this up. Bye.